Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.
Blog Talk Radio.
Here we go. Blast off.
This is True Capitalist Radio. True Capitalist Radio.
I am your host, the man they call Ghost.
The badass of business.
Give him capitalism or give him death.
That's it. Period.
Broadcasting from his Skyline office studios in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas.
You sound fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops, for Christ's sake.
And now, he'll take it from here. Your host, the prognosticator of prognosticators, the man they call Ghost.
What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me once again to another edition of True Capitalist Radio. This is episode number 40 for all the folks that are keeping track, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Whether you're tuning in live or in the archive, please spread the word. Please spread the word about the True Capitalist Radio show. All right, and where to send them is blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right, that's where you send them, that's where you direct them, that's where we have thousands and thousands of minutes of true capitalist commentary and a whole bunch of content for people if whenever they're bored or whenever they have some free time or whenever they want to be entertained or whenever they want to reminisce about certain times, go to that particular website. The archives are there for on-demand purposes, and spread the word, not to mention. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me. Let me tell you something. We got a lot of things to talk about out here. We're going to go ahead and go over the markets here in just a second. Oil took a tumbling here there at the end of the day's trading. After going up, considerably this morning, people just kind of selling off, moving their positions in certain equities and certain commodities that are up higher. We'll talk about that in a second. We're going to talk about a little bit about the Middle East. Another thing we're going to talk about is a billionaire investor named Carl Icahn, which is a hedge fund manager and an investor himself. Decided that he was going to give $1.76 billion of his investors' monies back. I mean, he just basically said, hey, look, I'm just going to go ahead and just give all your money back because I just don't think that this market, this bull market is going to last much longer. And if you look back in the archives in the True Capitalist Radio show, folks, I've been saying be very tentative when capitalizing on this particular market. All right, be very, very tentative. As I said, I know that, investors are optimistic whenever they hear any kind of news. As you can tell by certain stocks that they're not necessarily going up, but they're profitable companies. Unfortunately, these companies are being overlooked because individuals are taking profits in other positions that have gained considerably. And in my personal opinion, I think that this particular investor here, Carl Icahn, is something that should give the market and the investors in Wall Street some concern when possibly going forward for any more buying in the equities markets at this point in time. But we'll talk about that in a second. We're also going to talk a little bit about anger brewing in the private sector. Anger brewing in the private sector because, let me tell you something right now. I completely understand where the private sector is coming from. It's about time, all right? I've been saying this for like 4 or 5 years on this broadcast, that public workers, it doesn't matter if you're a municipal worker, a state worker, a federal worker, these people have overinflated budgets. They have overinflated pensions. It's breaking the American tax dollar. I mean, it's breaking our system. It's putting us in traumatic amounts of debt. And now that states are kind of strapping down and trying to, make their books a little bit more fiscally solvent, all of a sudden these union, the public union laborers out here, these, damn near organized crime outfits, are trying to extort money out of the taxpayers' pockets. I mean, we barely are rebounding. And let me tell you, this rebound that we're doing, it's not much. I'm calling it right now. I don't want to go as far in as to say we're going into a double-dip recession, but there is some halt in the bull market here. I'm telling you this right now. I mean, and it's not just the oil. It's not just the destabilization in the Middle East. It's a lot of factors. All right, and we've talked about them on a consistent basis. But, here you have public workers all over the country just raising up, going into damn capitals all over the country demanding that they want their inflated budgets continued on a consistent basis. This is what they want, for Christ's sake. Anyway, we're going to talk about that before I get a little upset. What else we got going on over here? Oh, yeah, we're also going to talk a little bit about Rajamanam, I think it's his name. This guy that's an investor, he was a hedge fund manager. This guy decided that, he took a call from somebody that happened to have been in a meeting where, at the time, Warren Buffett was going to make a considerable investment into Goldman Sachs. And this individual that happened to have been in that exclusive meeting called Rajamanta, whatever his name. I'm sorry I'm butchering up his name. I'm not trying to insult the Indian people or anything. But I just don't know what his name is. It's there on the damn description, all right, if you want to look him up. Anyway, he called this guy, and literally minutes after that damn call, all right, literally minutes after that damn call, this guy puts in an order for Goldman Sachs and makes almost $1 million off of that particular transaction. And now the government is trying him for insider trading, which is a serious topic. I think that it's definitely something that people need to think about, need to talk about. We have individuals in the business channels and the financial channels, both on Bloomberg, Fox News, CNBC. You actually got people that think that insider trading, shouldn't even be a law, and that corporations should be able to sell this type of information in the open market, that there should be a market behind information. And I think that, there's some serious implications in that type of idea. I mean, I particularly don't really appreciate when people have the inside track on something when, everybody should be playing by the same rules here. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is why there's no perfect stock picker out here in the United States, or in the world for that matter. Not even Warren Buffett, who's, second, third richest man in the world, something of that nature, who's made all his money in the stock market. Not even he made the kind of gains that, Bernie Madoff and, these, fraudulent Milkins and these people that made all this money through fraudulent means. Not even he makes these types of gains. And the reason is, folks, is because everybody should have the same type of information that's disseminated through the transparent process that is corporate earnings and prospectuses and these sorts of things. I don't think that anyone who is going to, have the inside track by having inside information should be able to profit. I think it's disgusting, It's horrible. I think it jeopardizes the integrity of the investment process, in my personal opinion. But I'm gonna talk about that later. We're gonna have some phone calls about that, I'm sure. Not to mention, folks, it came out today when I was watching Varney and Company, which happens to be a fairly decent program. There's a African-American black guy on there. His name's Charles Payne. Awesome, badass capitalist. You're talking about the essence of capitalism. Charles Payne, all right? Charles freaking Payne is what you want to be like if you're, anybody who's, of color. No, I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about Mexicans or, anyone else who feels like they're being kept down because of the man. out here in America. Charles Payne is the ultimate capitalist. But he mentioned today, while he was in the midst of conversation with Varney and Company's commentary, he mentioned today, this morning, that 30% of America's income, 30% of America's income is comprised of entitlements given out by the government. 30% of America's income is government entitlements. Yeah. I mean, give me a break, for Christ's sake. And then we're wondering why we're sinking. Then we wonder why the value of our dollar is being depleted. Then we wonder why this country is being flushed down the proverbial toilet. Give me a goddamn break. I wish people had some brains out here. Anyway, we're going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to have some thoughts on this world disorder that we're potentially heading towards, folks. I'm not trying to be an alarmist. I'm not trying to be doomsday asshole here, but I don't think that the geopolitical climate in the international community looks good at all. I don't think it looks good at all. I think that, all these speculators that are pulling back in the oil markets are idiots. The Saudi royal family is scared shitless. Excuse my French, folks. They're scared crapless. They don't know what the hell to do. They've literally given up $36 billion recently to try to pay off the people to settle their asses down. Yeah. They've given $36 billion to the people in, I don't know, all kinds of different types of justified entitlements. They've forgiven loans, that sort of thing. It's getting pretty scary, And once again, folks, I look to Friday. All right, Friday is the day. This Friday is when we're going to see if anything actually culminates in Saudi Arabia. There's supposed to be a day of rage that's being culminated through the internet. Of course, these morons are using Facebook. Even though Facebook banned a Chinese blogger because he didn't have his appropriate name or his real name, some kind of crap, although they continue to allow this, rabble-rousing that's happening throughout the Middle East, which I think it's rather convenient. But apparently there's some organizational fiber optically connected uprising that's apparently being organized online and Facebook and all that crap. And Friday is supposed to be the day of rage in Saudi Arabia. Now, mark my word, if there's any kind of news that comes out of Saudi Arabia, if anything happens, if there's any kind of uprising, if there's any kind of suppression of the people, if there's any kind of the images that we've currently seen out of the Middle Eastern countries happening to Saudi Arabia, I think that we're in some serious trouble. All right? I think that we're in some serious trouble here, and I would look to Friday to start seeing whether or not this bull market is even going to have any kind of room to not continue upward, but just to sustain above 10,000. All right, seriously. I'm honest about this, because if oil goes over $150 a barrel, which I anticipate it will if Saudi Arabia has disorder in its country, once this damn barrel of oil goes over that price point, folks, I think we're in some serious trouble as an economy, not to mention that the situation out here is going to look like 1979, maybe worse. And, the stock market, as a matter of fact, today is the anniversary of the stock market collapse of the economic recession of 2008, which extended into March 2009. On this day, 2009, Dow Jones Industrials was 6,500 points. Yeah. This day, today, 2 years ago, 2009, the S&P 500 was 600 points, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. But you see, everybody that was getting out of the market, that's where you go in. That's when you go into the market, man. That's how Buffett made all this money after the recession happened. Once everybody goes, he goes in. That's been his classic strategy, philosophy, ever since he's been an investor. But anyway, folks, we're going to talk about all that in a minute. Also, I want to talk about the recent child deaths that we keep hearing about on the television, whether it's national or local. I call this every single springtime going into summer. Every time springtime goes into summer, I make the prognostication that we're going to start seeing disgusting, despicable mothers who don't want to have anything to do with their children conveniently, accidentally leave their babies or their children in the car and forget to take them down and let them fry to death in a damn car, for Christ's sake. I'm already starting to see it out here in Texas, folks. We had a actual news reporter out of New Braunfels, Texas, which happens to be a small town south of Austin, Texas. Here, it's I think a little about 90 miles south of Austin, Texas. A little small town. New Braunfels, Texas, actually had a reporter. And this is supposed to be some legitimate member of society with a freaking degree and all that other crap. She said she conveniently forgot that she, left her newborn daughter in the car to fry and just, burn up. And it's disgusting, man. And out here in Texas, I don't know where you are in the country, folks. It's been beautiful out here in Texas. Oh, you kidding me? It's been great. I mean, there's a sunny day today. It's about, probably high 70s, maybe even in the low 80s out here. And you put a damn baby in a car, and you know what? I'll tell you what happened. it happens every year, folks. You want to know why I know this happens? Because women can get away with this kind of crap. You understand? Just like that, what was her name? Risotto, whatever the hell her name is, just like she's getting away with, I can just dump my kids off and go become some tenured bureaucrat, Oh, yeah, they're championing that every year. Why do you think I'm so right on the money when all these kids start dying in cars and stuff? Because it's the easy way for mothers to get rid of their children. This New Braunfels piece of crap reporter, do you think that this bimbo is going to go to jail? No. No, they said it was an accident. It's a damn accident. I mean, do you understand? These women know they can get away with this crap because of this damn feminist movement. I mean, they trivialize life so much that they can just they know at this point in time they just dump their kids off in their car and then, just conveniently say they forget. And then when, somebody lets them know, hey, you left your goddamn kid in your car, all they got to do is just go in to throw some crying hysterics, just, oh, it's all they got to do, and all of a sudden, Mr. Officer is like, oh, it's okay. It was clearly an accident. I mean, even though this happens on a consistent basis, so much that it's becoming an actual statistic in child death. No, we believe you. It's just an accident. It's okay. And that's exactly what happened here in New Braunfels, Texas. This happened yesterday. This happened yesterday, and already they're finding the stupid bimbo innocent. They're not even filing charges against her. It's just like that one bimbo that I blogged about that dismembered her kid's finger or ate off her kid's fingers and sliced her kid's head off or arms off, whatever it was, man. There's so many cases where these women literally, dismember their kids, drown their children, eat their children's limbs, and these women get off, man. They don't do prison time because, postpartum depression and, postpartum psychosis and, I mean, and this has now become justification to kill children. And you don't think women know this? Women know what they're doing. They know what the hell they're doing. They're seeing other women getting away with, conveniently killing their kids, becoming single cougars, not having to have that responsibility of being a parent anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about that. I know I'm going off on a tirade. And last but not least, folks, I want to talk a little bit about Harry Reid today. In the midst of us going into a government shutdown, folks. And for you folks that aren't, familiar with what's happening in Wall Street, what's happening out there in Washington, our government they're so stupid and pathetic. Our damn politicians are so ridiculously bureaucratic and money hungry for our tax dollars that they can't come up with a budget that they can agree on so that we can at least sustain, this government. Now, I agree we should be cutting taxes, we should be cutting spending, we should be doing these types of things. But let's be honest, folks, these assholes that are in Washington today aren't going to come up with any kind of actual bill or an actual budget that's going to appease everybody's interests here. I mean, and what these idiots in Washington are doing are jeopardizing the integrity of our financial system. That's what they're doing. They're jeopardizing the integrity of our financial system by playing politics and saying, oh, we will cut, but we don't want to cut that much, and I don't want to cut this, and I don't want to cut that. I mean, it just makes me sick to my stomach that these idiots are more worried about all their stupid little pet projects that they're getting funded with our tax dollars. Our tax dollars are funding these pork barrel spending projects. And anyway, I wanted to talk about one in particular that Harry Reid thought was so important. Oh, yeah, Harry Reid just thought it was so important to save something called cowboy poetry. That's right. However much money that goes into this ridiculous festival that happens in, Harry Reid's district that's being funded by our tax dollars, he's trying to justify the money that's being sent to his state based upon, whatever pork barrel spending word manipulation he used to throw this in the budget out there. But yeah, cowboy poetry. This idiot actually went to the floor of the Senate and actually spoke to save this freaking cowboy poetry festival that they have every year in Nevada, I'm assuming, because that's where goddamn Harry Reid's from, Nevada. Can you believe this crap? Cowboy poetry. And we can't even, continue to sustain our basic services as governments out here. And this idiot is talking about how we need to save cowboy poetry. I'm not joking. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and go into that here in a second. I just want to go over the markets because I know people are a little concerned about what's happening today. So I'm going to go over it real quick, folks, and then we're going to talk about all this, folks. If you happen to have been in the market, everything fell pretty much flat. It was pretty choppy today, definitely day traders market. It's been a day traders market for a long period of time. If you happen to be somebody who has extra liquid to day trade, and for those of you folks that are unfamiliar with what day trading is, it's when you buy stocks for a short period of time to capitalize on those waves of volatility that happen on an intraday chart on a specific stock or a specific ETF or whatever financial instrument that you're investing in. You hold it for a short period of time to basically get, $2 or $3 if you're lucky, a $2 or $3 increase on a certain given stock, or 50 cents or 25-cent increase. You keep doing this throughout the day, and before you know it, you've accumulated about, hopefully, if you're good, $2,000 or $3,000 at the end of the day. It's definitely been that kind of market, man. Definitely choppy. But the Dow Jones Industrials fell flat today. It was down 1.29 points. It wasn't much of a decrease, but still, these bulls out here that continue to, trying to go on to the damn financial channels and say, hey, it's a good time to buy right now. It's a good time to buy. Some asshole went on Fox, Fox News. Fox Business. I don't watch Fox News. Fox News is rather ridiculous. I watch Fox Business. Fox Business is completely different than Fox News. Fox News is a joke, all right? But Fox Business actually had some asshole being interviewed. If I'm not mistaken, he was being interviewed by Liz Clayman. I believe it was either Monday or last week sometime. And this idiot actually said he was bullish on JDS Uniphase. Believe it or not, he said, I'm going to go ahead and be bullish on, JDS Uniphase. I think they're a great company. They dropped, what did JDS Uniphase drop today? Let's go ahead and look at a damn chart on that, for Christ's sake, because it dropped considerably. Considerably. Look, it dropped 16.70% today alone. So, that just goes to show you, folks, that you got to be tentative in some of these investments. You have to look for fundamentals. That's what I look for. I look for fundamentals out here, and, you just have to live and die by those things, man. You cannot sit here and go, you can capitalize on over-speculation, but don't believe the over-speculation, man. Don't believe the hype. Anyway, Dow Jones Industrial is closing out at 12,213 points. S&P 500 falling flat again, or falling flat as of the Dow, I should say, down 1.80 points, a decrease of 0.14%, closing out today at 1,320. NASDAQ closing out today at 2,751.72, a decrease. It decreased considerably today compared to the other markets, 14.05 points, a decrease of 0.51%. Now, the commodities markets were just as volatile as the damn equities markets out here, folks. So if you happen to be a futures trader, this is also your time to shine, man. Because I also trade futures, and I don't talk about trading futures on here too much because it's a very complicated, difficult process. It's not the same process as trading an equity. It's not the same process as trading an ETF or even, this is a very complicated financial instrument. And, at some point, if you're holding on to a future and you happen to be speculating in the wrong direction, it's going to be damn hard for people to for people to buy your future if the market's going down and you saving most of your money. When the futures are down and you're holding a future at a high price, it sucks. Let's just put it that way, all right? Anyway, let's go to Brent crude, folks. Brent crude went considerably high today because of the Libyan unrest. For those folks that are unfamiliar with the Libyan unrest, there is an actual civil war. There's rebels that are throwing up military opposition to Muammar Gaddafi's authority. Muammar Gaddafi is ordering all kinds of military armaments against the rebels out there, going as far as throwing airstrikes. Throwing airstrikes on his own people. And we heard a report today that one of these airstrikes actually hit one of the oil fields that the rebels have taken a stronghold over, and plumes of fire can be seen, fireball plumes can be seen after this airstrike. So this is what got the market a little bit uneasy this morning and had the oil futures trading considerably high. I think they jumped as far as $1 today, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm talking about West Texas crude. Brent crude, on the other hand, increased even more than that, but it settled out today at $115.88. Change today of $2.82 on the plus side. Percentage change of 2.49%. Gasoline futures are up. They're going to continue to be up, folks. I'm telling you, you better get some gas, and if you're going to get it, fill her up because these prices may not come back. All right. Gas futures are up $16, an increase of 1.68%. Heating futures are up, folks. Apparently, we don't feel it out here in Texas, folks. I hate to say it. I feel bad for everybody else in America because I know that there's floods, there's freezes, there's just all kinds of tornadoes and just weird, wicked, unbelievable atmospheric disturbances. And as a matter of fact, in my personal opinion, I think it's rather an anomaly, if I can stumble over my own tongue and say that. But let me tell you, it's been considerably decent out here. As a matter of fact, when I'm sitting here in my office conducting business, doing, day trades or, trying to call around to check on my brick-mortar businesses, trading futures. I'm up here in the morning, folks. Literally, I get into this damn office at about 6 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 5:30, so I can check out the foreign markets. And, I also trade those things, which is another complicated scheme of, not scheme, but a complicated game, the foreign currency markets. These types of things, I conduct myself in all these types of business instruments. It's the only way to stay ahead of the market. You can't just pick one stock and think that you're just going to go ahead and just make a bull run at it and it's just going to be in the money. That's just not how it works. All right, diversification is key. And, as the more you diversify, the more assets you attain, because that's what diversity is, folks. It's assets. It's obtaining so many financial instruments that even if one financial instrument takes a dive, another one is going to recoup and continue to give you gains. And that's the point. That's the point of it, because no one's going to be able to have everything perfect. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, I know that there's some people out there that are considerably cold. I think Jeannie Santorini is saying, hey, it's cold down here. We're seeing it here in the heating oil futures. It's up today 2.04%, an increase of $6.14. Good God. West Texas crude, folks, pulled back a little bit. And once again, this is really screwy, man. I mean, this is when you know you're in a helter-skelter-ass market. You don't know what the hell's going on here. Neither do the damn investors. But like I'm saying, folks, just stick to the fundamentals, man. I mean, even if the fundamentals aren't necessarily working for you completely at this point in time, when this market crashes, and I'm not saying crashes in the sense of, you're going to lose all your money, but remember, this is the anniversary of when the Dow Jones Industrials 2 years ago was 6,500 points. All right? The Dow Jones Industrials on this day was 6,500 points. On this day, 2 years ago, the S&P 500 was 600 points. Do you understand what I'm saying? So diversification is key. What was on top at that time? What could you have done to hedge your bets against this type of episode? Well, just like I did back then, man. Back then, I put my money in commodities. I love commodities. Are you kidding me? Every time I look at the Weather Channel, I think, okay, there's going to be some Arctic disturbances in this region. What's being produced out of there? Let me see if there's anything happening in this region over here. And you just have to put your money and put it in those areas and reap some profits, and that's all you can do, man. That's the game. Be productive. Anyway, let's continue on, shall we? West Texas crude, for some reason, fell flat today. Really helter-skelter-ass market, man. $104.31 a barrel of WTI sweet crude. Down today, 71 cents, a decrease of 0.68%. Good God. Anyway, we also saw canola futures go down 13.9 points, a decrease of 2.37%. There was a lot of gains going into the canola future market, so, it was no coincidence that we were going to see that. Cocoa futures, folks, we've been talking about the unbelievable explosion in the price of cocoa futures. They're finally starting to sell off, and the sell-off is due to the unbelievable gains. I mean, you can look back in the archive. I was wondering whether or not cocoa futures were going to end up like gold. If you happen to be one of these, fat sweet tooths that happen to have some kind of habit of shoving a couple of candy bars in your hole, this definitely affected your pocketbook, but there was a dramatic sell-off today, down 106 points, a decrease of 2.92%, so that was definitely a decrease. But with decreases come increases elsewhere, folks. We've continued to see coffee futures up and up and up, and it's because of, certain demands in emerging markets and the scarcity of these crops here. Coffee futures continue to go up from yesterday's gains. Today, they went up $7.65, an increase of 2.66%. Corn futures continuing to sell off. Thank God! I mean, I'm waiting for corn to come down so I can have my damn Texas barbecue out here with my damn corn. Instead of paying $1 an ear of corn, I can get $1 damn for 9 ears, all right? I can give the damn cashier here, here's $1, give me 9 ears of corn so I can throw them on the damn grill after I cook my goddamn sirloin steak or, a nice ribeye steak, a nice juicy piece of steak on the grill with some mesquite wood, baby. Oh, yeah, you're kidding me? I know how to barbecue. You're talking about, I'm from Texas, boy. But anyway, the corn futures are down $4.50. We're finally seeing a sell-off on cotton, man. This is all-time highs yesterday on cotton. Finally seeing a sell-off, down $2.73, a decrease of 1.32%. Good God. Wheat futures continuing to see a sell-off on them. They've been gradually rising for the past 3 or 4 weeks. We're seeing a continued sell-off, down $20.50. Sugar decreasing off of the increases that they've had, down 28 cents, a decrease of 0.91%. Soybean futures, a decrease after gradual gains, minus $33. Lumber futures, we're seeing a sell-off. Even though it's surprising, I know that we've had gradual increases in lumber future, but today we heard some decent numbers come out of the real estate market, that there was I think a 21% increase in mortgage applications last week. So, like I was talking to Goofy Bone, who's an avid listener of this broadcast, who's invested in the real estate market, I said that this is a good time to invest in real estate, man, and let me tell you, I think it is. I'm even getting close to selling my damn high-rise condo here in Austin, Texas, and getting a damn bigger one because the market's hot, you know. I mean, and the banks are lending. But anyway, lumber futures are down $1.90. You'd figure that they would go up on that type of news. Oat futures are down $8. Soybean oil futures are down $1.36, and wool futures flatten out with no change. Copper continues to see a sell-off, folks. These people that are invested in copper are trying to sell off, put their money in other positions in hopes of gathering more capital. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the game. Decrease on them, 2.86%. A decrease of $12.40 on the copper market. Still bullish on copper, still bullish on metals in the long term. At least for the next 2 years, I'm bullish on those commodities big time. Anyway, gold an increase, even though I thought it was going to see a bigger increase today, but still increased 0.29%. A change of $4.20. It's closing out today at $1,431.40 per troy ounce. So let me tell you, I think that we're going to start seeing some major spikes in oil if Friday's Day of Rage in Saudi Arabia has any kind of headlines. Not just in gold, but in oil. Silver continues to rise. I know there's a lot of speculators out there that have been on the business channel saying that this should be the bottoming out point for silver because they're, looking at trends from 30 years ago. But silver continues to rise at a rapid rate. Unbelievable. An increase today of 47 cents, an increase of 1.32%. Believe it or not, it's $36 a troy ounce out here for silver. I mean, it's getting good out here. All right, I mean, it's getting good. Let's move on, shall we? Live cattle futures. Let's go to the cattle first. Let's go to the beef, baby. It's an increase of $1.55, an increase of 1.34%. And, of course, the cattle feeder futures continue to go up. They're up $1.25, an increase of 0.92%. This is why we're seeing an increase in the price of beef. Once again, it's not just the cattle, it's the feeder. And the feeder is actually costing more than the cattle because of the certain commodities that encompass feeder. So lean hog futures are up 27 cents, an increase of 0.27%. And that is the markets for your ass, all right? Now, before we go, I want to take a little bit of a look at the True Capitalist portfolio because let me tell you, if you happen to have any kind of a portfolio, you know that if you're in the equities market, it's like a damn juggling game. You look at fundamentals and you look at decent companies, you look at companies that are making profits, you look at companies that got good fundamentals, and the market is just not moving on some of these things. You know what I'm talking about? But still, even though, the investors aren't seeing certain profits as, long-term sustainable, I think that they are still good companies. At some point, some of these companies that I'm in the red on in the True Capitalist portfolio are going to spike up dramatically. I think that they're in definite buying potential here. If you're going to buy anything, you should buy everything that's down at this point in time. That's the whole point of playing the market. But before we get to the losers, let's talk about the winners. I mean, what's keeping the True Capitalist portfolio afloat is the healthcare stocks, folks. The healthcare stocks, Coca-Cola, the oil investments. Let's move to the healthcare stocks. Health Insurer, which deals with private and public insurance. It's a difficult business model to describe Amerigroup, but they deal with it all, and they deal with the whole health insurance thing. They position themselves in the market to where even if Obamacare is repealed, they have business models to where they can continue to sustain profit, and their books look good. Their last earnings were unbelievable. And when we put in a buy on AGP, Amerigroup, symbol AGP, it was $55.85 on February 18th. $55.85. We put a buy in on that, and since then, it has increased 7.25% on your money there. It closed out today at $59.90. Which is serious money. All right, let me tell you something right now. That's what an increase of 7.25%. I mean, that's serious right there. Anyway, that's what's keeping up the portfolio. Today alone, it went up $1.33. Yeah, AGP went up $1.33 today. An increase of 2.7%. They're what's keeping the True Capitalist portfolio hooked up with capital, even amidst losses. Coca-Cola, when we put in a buy on them on February 4th, we put in a buy at 53.16. Today it closed out at 59.39, down 7 cents from yesterday, but we're still up 11.72% on our money. God damn! I mean, good God. I'm serious. This is some serious capital here. I mean, let's talk about Dell Computers when we put in a buy on them. And I'm glad the investors are starting to see, some fundamentals working in the favor of profitability here. But Dell Computer, I thought it was a beaten stock. I think a lot of these techs right now, a lot of the techs that are down are beaten stocks. I think the analysts don't know their asses from their elbows right now. But I think this tablet revolution that's coming here in the Christmas time, holiday season, maybe even in the summertime back-to-school arena, I think those are some serious capital long-term profits to be considering when looking at some of these tech stocks. But Dell Computer, it's been beaten up for the past couple of years. We put a buy-in on it at February 16th at $14.02. Today, it was down 10 cents, but it still closed out at $15.43, an increase of 10.06% on your money. All right, let's continue going, shall we? Now, another healthcare stock that we put a buy-in on, which is, similar to what AGP is the competitor AGP, but it seems to me that everybody's going to get sick. Everybody's going to have to need some sort of health insurance, health care facilitation, something. And this is what symbol HS, HealthSpring, does, similar to what AGP does. Now, HealthSpring has been a hell of a gainer. Today it was up 68 cents. When we put in a buy on it on February 18th, it was $34.15. Today it closed out at an even $38. An increase of 11.27% on your goddamn money. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I don't want to continue going on with this because I know that there's some people out there who have lost some considerable investment out here listening to some of these investors, especially that asshole on Fox Business who said, what was it, on Monday or last Friday, that JDS Uniphase was a great goddamn investment. I mean, I bet you his foot in his mouth now, for Christ's sake. But anyway, let's go on. Oil, folks, OIL. This is an ETF that's basically riding the waves of the spikes in oil. When we put a buy-in on it on February 22nd, it was $23.90. This has been a traumatic gainer, even though it lost 16 cents today because, I don't know, some kind of optimism, I guess. I don't get it, but who cares? We're still up on our money here. It closed out today at $27.83, an increase of 16.44% on your goddamn money. Woo! Oh, man, I'm telling you. Anyway, I can continue going on and on here. The only thing that we're in the red on is Cisco. We're only down a little over 2% on that, but let me tell you, I think Cisco is at the bottom. I think people are idiots if they think that Cisco is either going to go out of business or is not ripe for these for a takeover. I mean, I think that we are seeing a lot of people out here in the corporate community eyeballing potential buyout opportunities. I mean, it seems like every week we're hearing about 4 or 5 buyout opportunities. And you also got to, think about these types of long-term plays. Because if something gets bought out, folks, all right, let's say, you hold on to something that looks profitable or looks like an area where one conglomerate can get into that doesn't have a share of the market, you got to look for these types of plays. And if somebody wants to buy out a company, and it comes to public arena out here, and, hey, we're going to buy this company or that company is going to go up to the highest price that it traded for in the past 52 weeks. Guaranteed, because that's how buyouts happen. The person doing the liquidation buyout of a given company by trying to accumulate all the stocks, they have to, make it generous enough so that everybody can relinquish their stock, to the person buying the damn company. So that's the point, Anyway, I think Cisco's pretty good, even though it's down. GE, man, I don't know what the hell's up with GE, but I think it's a good long-term investment when all these other stocks out here in the equities market start, tinkering away because of these false and, mediocre-based earnings that are, being over-speculated upon. I think growth stocks like GE, GM, I think that Cisco's a growth stock, NVIDIA, Intel, these things are going. These are the things that are in the red in my particular True Capitalist portfolio. But I think that this is being far overlooked. NVIDIA it beat the street's expectations by a long shot this past quarter. And yet, here you have the investors not showing any respect. As a matter of fact, a lot of them are just taking their positions out, moving them elsewhere. And it's causing the stock to fall flat. I think these are great buying opportunities here. NVIDIA is closed out at 19.14. Man, are you kidding me? GM right now, 32.25. It's around the IPO price. GE, $20.63. I remember GE at one point was trading for almost $70 at one point in its recent history. So, Cisco, you think Cisco will ever go out of business? Cisco is, one of the innovators of the Internet, man. They were one of the big names of the tech industry. So let me tell you something right now. I think that all these companies are great opportunities for a variety of different reasons. For potential growth, because I'm speculating, in my personal opinion, that people are going to buy tech again. I don't understand how, the financial people in Wall Street can evaluate Twitter for, what was it, $20 billion or something? That's what Twitter's worth, $20 billion. Facebook is estimated at, what the hell is it, $65 billion for Facebook. Now, how are people going to continue to use their Facebooks and continue to make it more mobile and continue to be connected? You're going to have to continue to manufacture technology. And, of course, technology is no longer computers. It's handheld devices. It's the new tablets out here. I think the tablet, the whole tablet movement is going to take the whole industry by storm, in my opinion. I haven't bought a tablet yet because they're so damn expensive, but once Christmas time comes around, I guarantee you that there's going to be so many people competing for that dollar that, it's just going to innovate the technology of the time. I think that people are just going to, that's going to be the Christmas products, man, in my view, in my opinion. Those are going to be the products to buy out here. What the hell else are you going to buy for Christmas? What? Jewelry? You're not going to be able to afford jewelry by that time, man. Gold will probably be close to $2,000 an ounce. You're going to be able to afford that crap. You're going to be able to afford silver even, for Christ's sake. So, of course, you're going to buy technology, and you're going to buy, technological gadgets and games and gizmos, because we all want to be connected. This is the Internet, for Christ's sake. No kidding. I'm not joking, man. So these idiot investors out here that are selling off and lowering the value of these stocks are just allowing potential capitalists to come in and capitalize when these idiots all come back to these stocks when they realize that, hey, man, I got to go where the profit is instead of being riding some over-speculated piece of garbage stock. I mean, good God. I mean, look, I like Chipotle, all right? I like Chipotle, but good God, I mean, it reminds me of that Krispy Kreme run. Y'all remember when Krispy Kreme was on the public, I think it's still around, but do you remember when it first, made its initial public offering? Oh, my God. I mean, investors were sending this stock to like $70 or $80 a share, for heaven's sake. I mean, it was stupid, And then you actually had goofs that believed that there was some kind of long-term growth possibility by selling donuts. There's just going to be a limitless donut, I mean, it's disgusting, man. When you look at things like that, you have to say, hey, man, I mean, you know what's exploding this stock price? Over-speculation. All right, over-speculation. So if I'm going to get in on this stock and I'm going to capitalize on it, I got to be short-term on it. I got to be day trader style or hold it for a week or something of that nature. Because look at what happened at Chipotle, folks, if you look at Chipotle here. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and pull it up right now. And the only reason I'm saying this is because it was a very high stock. I mean, it soared through the roof. It soared through the roof out here. I mean, let's look at the 1 year chart on this here. Let me wait a minute. It was down today, $1.16. But when its earnings came out in, I think it was February 14th, it looks like. Let me get this damn chart right here. February 14th, the stock hit $272.95. $272.95 on February 14th. That's what Chipotle went up to. And the reason it went up is because it had better than expected earnings. But, at some point, I mean, do you think that, Chipotle is just going to have this unlimited amount of growth potential and to be able to diversify its brand and its food products to be able to sustain the type of growth like, let's say, a McDonald's? I mean, McDonald's, given its market capitalization, it's a pretty decent price stock. I wouldn't buy it. I think it's a little too high. But, Chipotle, what is driving the goddamn price of Chipotle up to $272.95 on February 14, 2011? It's over-speculation, man. And now the market's starting to realize this, and as you can see on that chart there, on the tail end of that chart, it went down all the way down to $241.15 on March 1st. So if you would have been the poor bastard that bought this stock at, $272.95 on February 14th, on March 1st, you would have been, probably throwing yourself out the damn window because it went down to $241.15. You see, these are the types of plays you want to stay away from. Over-speculation, You don't want to be the asshole that paid the ultra-high price for a stock. Look, stocks are going to go up and down, folks, all right? Let's just be honest. But if you stick to the fundamentals and you realize that no matter what you got a stock for, because even if it goes down a little bit, folks, even if your stock goes down, that's just the stock market, man. You can't control the price. It's the market that controls the price. But when the market it doesn't have any profit and there's a potential double-dip recession, or we have another spike in unemployment, or the economic opportunities are scarce once again and there's lots of layoffs, there's not that much money and credit exchanging hands anymore, the companies that are going to sustain the test of time are those that can sustain any potential threat in the economy in that nature. And that's my personal opinion, and I think that some of these things that are on the True Capitalist portfolio right now that are down are unbelievable buy opportunities, in my opinion. And what I mean by buy opportunities is like long term. These are just unbelievable it's just a great price. You buy low, sell high, man. Buy low, sell high. It's the whole name of the game. You don't want to get in on a Chipotle when the damn thing is, what do we say, $272 on February 4th, $273 on February 14th, and then be the schmuck that, you don't want to do that. You just want to get in on a price where if it fluctuates, it doesn't matter. You don't want to lose a considerable portion of your investment, all right? That's the whole point. Stocks fluctuate. You just don't want to be the schmuck that, holds on to something and all it does is go down, That's it. But if the fundamentals are right, if you look at the books of these particular companies and you're looking at the fundamentals, it looks great. The PE ratios are great. The net capital is great. Everything's looking good. Well, then invest in it, and everything should be just fine, man. Even if the stock is down at this point in time, believe it or not, the dumb investors that are out here over-speculating on everything. And as a matter of fact, a lot of this oil has been criticized as over-speculation. I don't believe it's over-speculation. I think that, it's appropriate. So once again, man, it's about fundamentals. And the reason I haven't said any more stocks as far as to add to the portfolio, to the True Capitalist portfolio, because I am like this individual that we're going to talk about. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and make a transition into that particular story. I'm talking about the billionaire Carl Icahn, who is an investor and actually has a small hedge fund, which comprises 20% of his investment firm. 20% of his investment firm are actually people from the public investing in a hedge fund. Well, this guy doesn't even want to touch that money anymore. He doesn't want to be in charge of any money that ain't his that could potentially go down and people not understand why. So instead of actually playing the market with the 20% that was supplied to him by his investors as a hedge fund, he's giving it all back to him. Yeah. He's giving $1.76 billion. $1.76 billion back to his hedge fund investors and say, hey, look, I don't think that we should. I don't want to do this. I'm quoting him now. I'm quoting what he's saying. While we are not forecasting renewed market dislocation, this possibility cannot be dismissed. And I know, that sounds very vague, but it seems to me that this guy is definitely apprehensive, and a little bit more apprehensive than yours truly, but he's definitely apprehensive about the potential future about this market. And as I've been saying time and time again, you can look back in the archive, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. I've been calling this for a long period of time. I've been telling every investor out there to be just be very tentative in this market. And we've been talking about how these earnings, a lot of these earnings out here are basically comprised of cutting of corporate bottom lines and inflated profits based upon fiscal year 2010 fourth quarter. So this guy, this billionaire, remember, this billionaire has made money off of investing. This is an old guy here. His name is Carl Icahn, all right? This man is basically not even going to touch anybody else's money. The 20% of his investment firm that comprised other people investing into it for hedge fund purposes, and for you folks that aren't familiar with hedge funds, I advise you to look it up. You'll never hear the term hedge fund in this particular broadcast, because I believe that everybody should be in charge of their own money and not give their money to some asshole who's just going to be like, oh, okay, I'll take your money and I'll make more money just for you. You got to be in charge of your own money. But anyway, this billionaire, Carl Icahn, is just not going to have anything to do with it. He doesn't want to be responsible for the $1.67 billion that investors invested in the hedge fund. He doesn't want to be responsible for it. He foresees danger, folks. This is a billionaire. This is why I've been saying to you folks that have been so bullish on this market, man, it's a lot of over-speculation. And in the end, the only thing that's going to capitalize is the fundamentals. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody asked in the chat room, well, what are we supposed to look for in a PE ratio? The lower, the better. All right? The lower the PE ratio, the better. Anyway, and also, when you look at PE ratios, compare it to other stocks in the industry. Okay? If you're going to invest in a certain stock and you want to compare PE ratios, you need to compare everything across the board. All right? You need to take into consideration PE ratios. You need to take in consideration net operating income. You need to take in consideration how much debt that particular company has. And once you figure out a company you're going to invest in, take a look at its competitors, take a look at its stock price, take a look at its fundamentals, and if you're seeing a vast contrast, if you're seeing its competitors high on the stock price, but a bad PE ratio and a high debt rating, it's only a matter of time before that particular stock, begins to start going down on the trend, if you will. And your particular stock that is an opposition or in a different competitor, it will start getting gains from individuals who invest in that sector. So this is why you got to do your homework, man. You got to do a lot of homework here. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. What do you think about the equities markets? I've always said be very tentative here. We're going to start seeing a downturn, folks. We're seeing it now. All right, I predicted this. We're seeing a downturn, and we're going to continue to see it. I've said it, and you can look back in that damn archive if you don't believe me. All right, I said it, and I'll continue to say it. We're going to continue to see a downturn from the middle of spring going into the end of spring, possibly extending into the summer. There's a lot of circumstances that are going to arise here in the next couple of weeks that is going to signify whether or not this downward trend is going to continue even throughout the summer. But there are still opportunities out here. They're just very scarce. You got to look for them. You got to look for the low price stocks that have been beaten up for the past couple of years, because these are the stocks that haven't, they've either haven't cut their bottom lines, they haven't necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. Buy low, sell high is all I got to say. I want to hear from you. Give me a call right now. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and take a sip of this Macallan. I got me some Macallan. I've been drinking too much of that damn Johnny Walker Blue, so got myself a little bit of a Macallan Scotch. As a matter of fact, we're in the second hour already of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in live with me. Once again, if you're tuning in live, you can just do me the favor, and please retweet the program, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Put some interesting little tags on it so that individuals will know that we're live, we're in effect, and we're in the house. So if you could do that for me, I'd really appreciate it, folks. All right? blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Anyway, let's go ahead and take some calls here. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. I see a couple of numbers on the switchboard, but it's the same lame losers. They're not even funny. 715, you're a loser, and I'm not going to answer your call, so you can go, go. As a matter of fact, I don't even want you to listen to my program. All right? Get off. You're lame. Your prank calls are lame. You're unoriginal, and you make me sick. All right? Anyway, 646-652-4869. Let's look for some real callers here, shall we? How about some real callers? I mean, are you a little apprehensive about the equities markets right now, or are you bullish? Are you bullish on this damn equities markets? And if you are, I'd like to hear your explanation, because I'm not necessarily bullish on this market. I'm bullish on gold. I'm bullish on metals. I'm bullish on commodities. I'm bullish on, the complete opposite of equities. I still think that there is capital to be made with equities, but, come on, Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Let me take a sip of this Macallan here. Oh yeah. Nice and smooth, baby. Woo! Nice and smooth, baby. It's the second hour here. Please spread around like wildfire the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. And follow me on Twitter also, folks. Ghost Politics is the name to follow. That's the Ghost Politics. Anyway, since there's nobody calling, I'm going to continue on here. This investor, Carl Icahn, should be an indicator to all investors that are out there. To all investors that are out there, please heed the warning out here, okay? Let's get a little bit more fiscally responsible and start investing in companies that actually have fundamentals and not be over-speculating on hype. And that's what we're seeing with a lot of these stocks out here. I mean, I don't mean to pick on Chipotle. I'm sure they have a hell of a burrito. But, you know, I mean, how much profitability and growth can one achieve by selling a freaking burrito? I'm not trying to clown the business model. I'm sure they're making money. I'm sure it's great, you know. I'm sure the people living by it, great. I'm sure it's great. But the problem is, folks, is that I don't believe that it should be $274 or $275 a share. You know, I just think that it's just way ridiculous over speculation. And there are tons of stocks like this being traded today. Tons of them, man. Tons of stocks being traded like this. And this is why this billionaire who is an investor and, you know, has 20% of his investment firm as a hedge fund that's invested by private investors, he's giving those private investors their money back. He doesn't even want to trade that money. He's like, here's $1.76 billion. This is all the 20% of the hedge fund. I don't even want to trade your stocks. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want you assholes sending some lawyer my way because, oh, he didn't make me money. It wasn't fair, and I lost money. And I don't blame this guy. You know what I'm talking about? I don't blame this guy, billionaire Carl Icahn, for doing this sort of thing because let me tell you, I think it's sick what's happening in this Bernie Madoff settlement case. I think it's sick that, you know, they actually have some scumbag attorney trying to, recoup money for these losers that invested with Bernie Madoff. I think it's disgusting, man. I'm sorry. I think that you're a fool if you give all your hard-earned capital to somebody else so that they can invest it for you. I mean, if you actually think that that's some kind of a feasible, fiscally responsible thing to do, well, then it's your responsibility when you lose the money, man. I mean, if you thought it was a great idea for you to be like, okay, I'm going to take all my life savings that I worked 25 years for, and I'm just going to give it to Bernie Madoff so Bernie Madoff can make me more money. And, you know, I mean, give me a break, man. I mean, why don't people take personal responsibility? Man, you got to know these things. If you want to live large, I mean, that's what pisses me off about America, man. Everybody wants to live large. Everybody wants to live the dream. Everybody wants to do this. They don't want to work. You know, they don't want to work for it. You know, and how do you work for it? Do anything, all right? Do anything. Give me a break. I mean, seriously, it's just disgusting, man. It's sick, too, man. It makes me want to puke. Anyway, I don't blame the billionaire here. What's his name? Carl Icahn. I don't blame you, pal. All right? I would have given back the money, too. You know, I would have given back the money, too. I mean, just imagine these schmucks out here that were pissing and moaning. Oh, my 401k went down in 2009. I don't know what to do. I mean, seriously, why don't you do your own investing, man? It's not that hard. I mean, you know, there's so many tools. I mean, now you've got investment firms where they actually have outlets in metropolises all across the country. So they're, you know, you got online brokerage houses that actually have outlets where you can go and actually talk to an investor. Now, what do they mean by talking to an investor? Not going out and asking them what stocks to pick, but asking them, hey, how do I read a PE ratio? Hey, how do I read the net income earnings and this sort of thing? And that's what they're there for. You understand? So if you're somebody that doesn't understand, what I'm talking about, I strongly advise you to go to any one of these firms, for Christ's sake. They're all out there. I mean, you've seen them advertised. Make sure they have a branch in your city and go pay them a visit. They'll be happy to help you, believe me. I mean, just as long as you're going to open up a new account, but they'll be happy to help you. And I think the minimum that you need to open up an account at some joints is like, what, $1,000, $2,000? You just go up there and say, hey, I want to open up a new account, $2,000. Now, remember, if they make the trade for you, like you discuss it with them there, or they give you some insight or something, and they make the trade for you, it's going to cost you a little bit more than you would actually making the trade on your own in an online company, you know? So remember that. Every time you make a trade online, it's going to be a different and considerably lower price than you would actually going to a broker or somebody at the branch asking them for their advice and then them actually physically making the trade for you. But either way, I mean, you have to pay for the service. If you get some true insight from the broker, and I'm talking about, don't let this broker bitch you around either. Don't let him make you believe that, hey, this stock that I get, no. Don't let him pump and dump on your ass. Just ask the questions that you need answered, the technical questions, all this, if you see some kind of chart or some kind of piece of business information relating to a certain company's profitability or profits or forecasts, if you get prospectus, you can actually take it to these people. They'll show you what's going on, man. That's what they're there for Christ's sake. So anyway, 646-652-4869. And by the way, if you do go and get a brokerage account, make sure that this brokerage firm actually has diversified trading abilities. Try to get a firm that you can trade futures and stocks and possibly options if you get a little smart and want to go that direction. Try to get diversified. ETFs. You want a firm that can trade anything. And if it costs a little more, well, then it costs a little more. But make sure that when you execute that particular trade, that the price you wanted it for is the price you get it for. Because some of these idiot brokerage firms like to claim that, yeah, we're up to the second. Come on, man, we'll give you the exact price. And then you put in a price, and they still get it a couple of cents over. And you don't need that crap. A couple of cents could mean a couple of $100 depending on how many stocks you've bought into. So anyway, take that all into consideration, folks. 646-652-4869. Let's take a few calls here. 425, you're on the air.
Hey, Ghost, how are you?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Not a lot. I want to get back to your original question about equities and whether or not we're bullish or not.
Go for it.
Okay, I think what you said was really important, and I think you should really stress this more because it can't be said enough about investing in gold and silver. Because I think gold and silver are the only equities worth investing after the next few months. See, what we're seeing here now with the gold, with oil that could possibly go up to $200, $250 a gallon, or a barrel. All we need for that to happen is a little bit of unrest and for other countries to start taking other payments besides the U.S. dollar. And we're seeing China do that now. They're offloading the dollars that they have by the bucket. They're buying Japanese bonds. They're buying Thai bonds. And what's really special about America is because the rest of the world is reliant on our U.S. dollar. For example, if Germany wants to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, they can't do it because Saudi Arabia puts the U.S. dollar as a standard. So Germans have to buy our dollars and then use those dollars to buy oil.
Right.
What a lot of people, including myself, are just starting to buy into, and I would love for someone to tell me something else, like it's not going to happen. But I think we're going to see the rest of the world go off of the dollar standard. Meaning we can't just hyperinflate our money anymore. And when those things happen, we're going to have a lot of poverty. I know you've been saying this for a long time. But they're just going to close all these lines at the bread bank and all that. And I think absolutely that's going to happen. Some people go a little bit further down the rabbit hole, and they think that there's a whole bunch of elitists in the world, and they actually want to control the populations. And they're making all these moves very, very well coordinated, in a very well coordinated manner. You talked about I forgot, next Friday, what's it called? I forgot. And the big riot in Saudi Arabia.
This Friday. It's actually this. Isn't it this Friday? I thought it was this Friday.
Yeah, it is this Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So what we're going to see after that is a lot of people are saying gas here in America is going to go up to $5, maybe $6.
Oh, yeah.
And if we really do go off the standard after that, because it's just, we could tax every American at 100% every dollar they made, and that wouldn't even pay off the interest of the money we borrowed. We spent money like crazy. We've printed off so much that our money is just, it's worthless. It's just so worthless.
Well, that's what the argument is in the investment community. There's actually people that actually want more spending because that we're actually trying to play economic. If you want my personal opinion, I think we're playing economic wars with China because China is done the same thing with their currency, and that's what's enabled them to prohibit certain imports coming into their country and actually maintaining profitability, even though people are trying. And not to mention that it just kind of throws off the whole foreign currency markets by having a debased currency, given the fact that their the production levels are fairly high, and we're actually rather dependent, not just we in America, but the international community is dependent on their production. Now, what I believe, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that what America is doing here is debasing its currency. Now, there's a variety of different ways to interpret this. Some people believe that it's intentional. Now, if we say it's intentional, what's the intention? Well, if the intention is to destroy the marketplace, because that's what could potentially happen. Now, what is the motivating factor behind that? Well, it's bureaucracy. It's institutionalism. It's individuals that don't want private enterprise to be the influence of production, creativity, and human progress. It's the bureaucrats that want to take complete and total control. And if you look at really what the cause is of this complete debasing of our currency, it's our government. It's our government. And I know that people want to criticize the Federal Reserve for its role in basically buying back treasuries and, QE1, QE2, which is basically flooding the market out here with dollars, with what they like to call quantitative easing. But I think that the Federal Reserve is just doing all it can as its role mandated as the person or as the entity that issues out the currency for America, because unless the people really start understanding the complexity of this economic situation that relates to our taxes, that relates to our government, that relates to our spending, that relates to our economic productivity, that relates to our GDP, the only remedy out of this, and I hate to sound like some Keynesian economic asshole, but it seems to me that we're on a dead spiral. And the only thing that's going to keep us afloat as an economy in America is to continue to spend while incrementally, even though our damn politicians aren't doing it, incrementally start cutting. And like you said, we can tax our people 100% and still not be able to pay off the interest. But at the same time, we could make certain concerted efforts to grow the economy as a whole, so that once the economy is grown to a certain extent, Federal Reserve can start raising interest rates in a booming economy, so that we can start calling those dollars back, lowering the outstanding amount of bills circulating in the United States. We also cut we cut dramatic fat off of the entitlement system. I announced, I said today, that 30% of Americans' incomes comprise of entitlements. We start doing this, I think that America could start heeding another path. But like you said, I don't see it. I've been saying this for like 5 years. Nobody cares. These people are more worried about getting more money from the government. These people are more worried about voting for the American Idol. These people are more worried about other things. And all I'm saying to capitalists is that you got 2 years left before the shit really hits the fan. I mean, if you think, I don't think that even if we do go into a double-dip recession here in the next 2 years, there's still ability to profit. I mean, during the Great Depression, there were millions made by a variety of different parties because of the rise in commodities and the rise in agriculture and the rise in certain other financial instruments. And that's why I try to, urge capitalists to look for those opportunities and capitalize on them, because even in a recession, we can still make profit. Now, when we can't make profit is when they cut spending and raise taxes. because then I believe that the environment, the social environment that will encapsulate that whole proposition will, definitely be something looking a lot like Greece or Egypt, for that matter. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. And, well, you said 2 years, okay? I thought that was an interesting number because, I mean, a lot of people are saying September, August, that's when it's going to hit the fan. We're going to be like the rest of the world. We're going to be spending $6 on gas, and when everything goes up, food goes up. And power will go to commercials. Power will go to people who have food, people who have gas, people who have gold. They're saying that gold is going to be $3,000 an ounce.
Oh yeah, I think it might even go up to I think it might even go up to 4,000. In my view, in my opinion.
Because, and the reason to say this is when they do go, Henry Kissinger is a huge supporter of this, and he's getting his gears in motion. People are hearing about it now, but they want to create a North American euro unit that spans Canada, Mexico, and the United States. And what that would do is it would reset to the gold standard that Nixon took us off of. And so for every $100 you have, it'd be worth $1. And it's maddening because it's this game you're all playing with the stock market. It's just such a rigged game of cards. And
I wouldn't call it a rigged game of cards. You have to remember that the system is set up so that the investor, basically makes or creates the market. Now, if the investors, and let's be honest, all right, most investors are not necessarily understanding the game that's going on at hand here. Not to mention, most people in general aren't fiscally responsible. Now, I know that you're trying to claim that, elitist circles are kind of puppeteering the whole economic destabilization that is potentially going to happen in the next couple of years. But in my personal opinion, I think that it's the people's fault. I mean, this is freedom. I mean, this is what freedom encompasses. You have to have the freedom to fail, and at the same time, the freedom to fail also encapsulates the freedom to be responsible. And nobody wants to be responsible. Nobody wants to take responsibility. I mean, look at the damn teachers. Look at all these public workers that are pissing and moaning out here. I mean, look at everybody pissing and moaning. You got the old people pissing and moaning because we can't take away their Social Security. You got fat, obese assholes bitching and moaning because we can't cut Medicaid so that we can stop giving these idiots free hover rounds. And old people free Viagra. I mean, you got all these people just pissing and moaning, and in my personal opinion, it's the people's fault, man. You can't blame anybody, in the elitist circle. These people don't have the power to puppeteer these people in that regard. These people did it to themselves, man. I mean, this is a free will society, a free will world. I mean, you can't blame anybody for everybody's free will going a certain direction. And if that direction is complete and utter ignorance, well, then that's the consequence of the democratic model that we have shown to the world here. And I hate to say that.
You're right.
I'm not trying to be a totalitarian asshole here, but I mean, I hate to say it, but I was an avid believer in Francis Fukuyama's theories, but this proves that the democratic model has a serious flaw. And that flaw is that if you let everyone in the general mass public vote and participate in the political process, that this is the kind of recourse that you're going to get. And unfortunately, we can blame these people, we can blame those people, but inevitably we got to look at ourselves in the mirror and blame ourselves for being gluttonous idiots and trivializing life and having children even though we can't even afford to feed ourselves. And taking on debts that no honest man can pay because you just wanted to be some materialistic asshole that looked good in the neighborhood. I mean, this is what's really screwed up the economy in America, and this is why, unfortunately, this is what's unfortunate there, 425. The whole world embraced our model. The whole world embraced our model. The whole world is playing the economic game. Now, what we're doing is screwing it up for everybody. And other people are now moving in other directions because they know that we're headed for disaster. That's why you have people trying to move off the American dollar. That's why you've got ideas such as global currencies and North American unions and that sort of thing, because it's just not feasible under these social conditions, under these political conditions, and these economic conditions to continue to sustain growth in this part of the world. And that's my view, and I'd love for you to debate me on that if you think I'm wrong.
Debate you on what fact exactly? That
it's the people's fault.
We're kind of talking about three different things. I got lost on that one.
Well, you're alluding to the fact that it's the elitists that are playing the games with the stock market, playing the games with people's lives, or something of that nature. I'm paraphrasing. But
no, I think people with money will absolutely become a kind of a proletariat class. If you have to have money to go to school, they will eventually say you have the money to go to school, and then when you graduate, that's when you can vote, or that's when you're a citizen. They can take any one of these freedoms away from you.
Well,
and,
what are the people doing with those freedoms now?
And when all these people that are, sucking the teat here, when all these zombies start riding the streets, who has a target on their heads, Ghost, is guys like you, people with money.
Oh no, believe me, I know this. I am not stupid about this. As a matter of fact, I wrote about this on my blog that it could be potentially violent. But you know what? I'm willing to die for what I believe in. Because I lived a good life and I worked hard for it, and I had integrity and pride, and I wasn't some zombie asshole that bitches and moans about everybody else getting everything else in life and me not getting anything. I went out and initiated something. I actually had the balls to do something. I'm not going to sit here and piss and moan. So look, if it comes down to that, and these zombies come out and they're rioting in the street, and I die in the midst of that rioting, well, so be it. But as far as I'm concerned, I am not going to go against my principles because these idiots in the world out here can't get it together and come with us into modernity. You understand? I'm not going to sit here and fall back on my lifestyle and fall back on the economic model because these idiots are too, for a lack of a better term, dumb to understand that freedom comes a price and responsibility. And if you can't, burden that price and responsibility, well, then maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't deserve the right to have that freedom. That's just that's what it's showing me.
Well, look what they're doing with their freedom anyway. Half these people under 30, more than half of them, 20% of people between 32 and 18 voted for the President of the United States. It's just that a quarter of the young people voted. They had the right to, and they didn't. And they complain about it now. In Washington, which has been a blue state forever, Obama was hailed as the second coming. Okay, everyone. Okay,
I remember. I was there, man. I broadcasted during that time. For Christ's sake, it was disgusting. It was sick. And now
everyone just bought it up. Everyone just bought it up. Barry's got an IQ of 280. Yeah, he's such a. He's such a prodigy. He only had to be a senator for a couple of years, and he's ready. He'll beat McCain. And all these people are starting to feel really, really gypped. They bought T-shirts.
No, let me explain. Let me explain to the youth of it. That's why I'm trying to get it across. I know that I have a lot of young contingent that listens to me, man. But I'm trying to get across here that, hey, look, this is the real world, pal. All right. I know that in the liberal education system where they have indoctrinated you into believing certain ideas, it's just not the way it works. You know what they did? They tricked you. And this is what I keep telling the youth. The bureaucrats that basically encompassed everything that you know at this point in time gypped you out of a real knowledge-based education system. You know what they taught you how to be? They taught you how to be a good subject. That's what they taught you how to be. And, they didn't, and you want to know why they don't teach you about the stock market, and they don't teach you about, looking at trends or PE ratios or any of the good fundamental stuff that'll actually make you money in the damn schools and even public education or even college education? Is because they want the power, man. These people that are tenured bureaucrats, people that are government workers, these people want to continue to sustain that level of stagnation until they croak while capitalizing for doing the same job for 40 or 50 years and getting an increase to do it. And you see, what they had you believe is that, liberalism and the idea of liberalism is not about, anything else but being politically correct and embracing everybody and then doing this and, they're so hurtful and so mean and we got to rob the rich and feed the poor and all this Robin Hood horse crap. And now you're seeing that, inevitably, the political system sucks. And until we reform the voting system, I personally believe we need a reformed voting system. I don't think that you should be able to vote unless you're working and paying taxes. I don't understand how the hell we're giving losers in America the right to vote when they're collecting entitlements, when they have a financial interest to see one side, basically given the root of power so that they can bequeath them even more of our taxpaying dollars for free. I think that's bribery. I think it's legal bribery, and I think that that's what's really screwed up this country, man. And I know that I take a lot of criticism for that. I know there's people that are shocked about, I can't believe it. But, hey, the forefathers weren't stupid. The forefathers knew if we let all these morons out here vote, this is what you're going to get. This right here, what they fought against, the whole idea of what they fought against, this is what we're going back to. We're going back to what feudalistic Europe is trying to implement on its subjects. And it's stupid, man. So, what gives? Okay, the people are stupid, the young are stupid, everybody's stupid. That's something that I've said, man. So why sit here and try to criticize the system when you know it's going to hell anyway? All right, when you know it's, and why don't you just capitalize? Because capitalism lives on. If this country goes, we can get the hell out of here, private Learjet style, and just get the hell. I go to some other country that embraces capitalist ideas and appreciates investment. Instead of these assholes that are pissing and moaning that they can't get free money from the government that they think comes out of thin air. It's just disgusting, man. I'm sorry. I know that you're trying to, make me believe that, the elitist and, the poor people. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I don't. I don't buy it, man.
No. I never said that. Okay, first off, I have never collected government entitlements of any kind. I am a capital myself. I earn my money. And I think that's why I'm mad, and it has to, you kind of have to feel like something's definitely fixed. And no, I wasn't trying to say that you're wrong whatsoever. I just want to know, like you say 2 years, okay, until things go to hell. So is that your plan in 2 years, is to take a Learjet? Like, how do you see
You're
America
damn right.
being in 2014?
I've been saying it since the first day of the True Capitalist radio show, man. Since I started, reformatted this show. I am going to stack my chips for 2 years. And as the unrest, because look, we're already seeing unrest from our teachers, for Pete's sake. They're out there taking Capitol buildings hostage, and using our children against us. Holding the education system hostage. Just imagine when these idiots that have their government cheese and all that other crap taken away. It's going to be complete and total chaos. So, in my personal opinion, and I don't want that, man. I don't want chaos. As a matter of fact, I want order. Order is what causes capital to continue to flourish and productivity to continue to grow, that sort of thing. But we're not going to have it because our people, I hate to say this, we're stupid, man. We're completely idiotic, and we don't care if the government continues to feed our asses because we're too simplistic to realize where the damn money comes from. We don't care. You hear these people on the damn videos out here. Yeah, I want more money, baby. I want more money. I don't care where it come from. Well, man, where are we supposed to get the money? I don't care, baby. Get it out of Obama's stash, baby. It's just not. I know. Believe me. I can understand where people want to think. Hey, we got to help the people. We got to help this. That's enough. I think that we're living in a day and age where these people should be lucky to be alive. They should be lucky that they're even breathing, for Christ's sake, and yet they're demanding shit off of societies. They're demanding crap. They're like, yeah, somebody owe me something, baby. I got 8 kids, baby. My kids, baby. And, this is the society we live in, man, and these people are voting. These are the assholes voting. So, that's why I'm saying, man, I'm not trying to sound like, anti-American here, but let's be honest. There is no remedy to this thing, man. There is no remedy. And in my personal opinion, you got 2 years before they reset the Bush tax cuts and start tremendously cutting the fat. Remember, what they're arguing about on Capitol Hill right now is just cosmetic. It's just cosmetic cutting. It's not even going to make an impact. It's not even cutting where cutting needs to be, for Christ's sake. And as we get closer to those 2-year resets on the Bush tax cuts, that's when we're going to start seeing some major shit hit the fan. We're going to see incremental decreases in spending, and at the same time, we're going to see dramatic hikes in taxes. And I hate to say it, man. I may have to abandon shit, man. I may have to go down, to emerging market, kick back there for a minute, like Jim Rogers did. Jim Rogers, one of the greatest investors out here, one of the many great investors out here. He got the hell out of here a couple of years ago. He said, "I'm moving to Malaysia." And he's living there, and the reason he's living there is because he knows that this is coming, for Christ's sake. He knows that there's a tremendous bad, aura around the American economy. So,
okay, you mentioned if you want to make a toy factory here in America, the amount of political poison that goes into the business system in this country, taxes and everything like that. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, it is so easy to get a business license and start up a shop with a tenth of the money you would need here. It's no wonder why a lot of guys like you are talking about, I'll go to Malaysia, I'll go to Japan, I'll go to Tokyo, I'll go somewhere where I'm appreciated and they want me to do business.
Absolutely,
you know
man.
how hard it is to start a guitar shop, and it's impossible. You can't do it without taking out a huge amount of loans.
No, I was just going to say you're absolutely right. I mean, you especially like businesses that haven't emerged in emerging markets. You said a guitar shop. You're goddamn right. You're not going to be able to compete out here with a guitar shop unless you're producing them yourself, unless you're making them from scratch. And then when you start making them from scratch and start getting more orders, you're going to have to ship out your damn production anyway, because you're not going to want to pay the amount of union labor that these idiots are going to demand for such manufacturing. So you're absolutely right. I mean, what you would want to do if you wanted to sell guitars is go to an emerging market where there's money exchanging hands, and these types of businesses aren't prevalent in these markets. Like a guitar shop, like maybe these ideas that we've seen out here, electronic stores, all these dumbass, a bakery, whatever. I mean, these types of things that are abundant in America are not abundant in emerging markets. As a matter of fact, emerging markets just have the fundamentals. They got grocery stores, hardware stores, and bars, and restaurants. Inevitably.
You're talking about tablets. Let's look at two of the big ones. You got the Sony Ericsson thing and the iPad. They're both around $300 to $500. The higher end one's $600-$700. Both made here. Microsoft made here in America. Where are all these things manufactured?
Yeah, I was going to say it was assembled here.
Well, it's like we're getting nickels on the $500s of dollars each time one of those things are sold, and
exactly,
it's ridiculous. It's no wonder we're collapsing. We're consuming so much more than we're making, and it's because of that. It's because of that poisoning that's in it. The taxes are just so crazy.
I hear you there, 425, man. And I want to thank you for calling, man. You provided some pretty good insight, but once again, I just think that it's the people's fault, man. All right, people are idiots, and let me tell you how stupid they are there. All right, let me tell everybody how stupid the people are. They elect some asshole, and they re-elect this guy. They've not just elected him; they've re-elected him and re-elected him and re-elected him. I'm talking about this scumbag named Harry Reid. That's right. I'm talking about this scumbag named Harry Reid, the senator of Nevada over here, who's supposed to be a man of the people. He likes to hold these press conferences with his little meek-looking voice, and I am Harry Reid, and I got glasses, and I love everybody, and I'm the ultimate liberal, and shut up! And lo and behold, all right, what is he fighting for? I mean, right now, folks, in Washington, D.C., your politicians, people that are supposed to be representing you, They're out there in Washington pissing and moaning about what's going to be cut and what isn't going to be cut. Believe it or not, we should have shut down the government this past Friday, but they agreed enough to pass some goddamn 2-week extension so that they can continue to squabble over each other on what gets cut in the budget and what doesn't get cut. All right? And let me tell you, this goddamn scumbag, Harry Reid, had the audacity to utilize Senate floor time. All right? He had the audacity to use Senate floor time to promote what he likes to call, or what is called out there in Nevada, cowboy poetry. That's right. I mean, he was out on the goddamn Senate floor talking about why cowboy poetry should be saved as a part of the government cutting budget, for Christ's sake. Why they shouldn't cut cowboy poetry. And if you don't believe me, here, engineer, put that goddamn clip on of Harry Reid talking about cowboy poetry. Put it on. They don't believe me. Put it on.
National Endowment of Humanities is a reason we have in Northern Nevada every January the Cowboy Poetry Festival. Had that program not been around, the tens of thousands of people who come there every year would not exist.
I mean, can you believe this crap? This was on the floor of the Senate, all right, in the midst of debates around this budget that needs to be passed, or else we're going to have a damn government shutdown. This is what they're debating, cowboy poetry, huh? Cowboy poetry is what they're debating about. Oh, that cowboy poetry. I mean, did you hear how compassionate he sounded? He was talking as if he was saving money for cancer kids or something. Listen to this piece of crap. Good God.
National Endowment of Humanities is a reason we have in Northern Nevada every January the Cowboy Poetry Festival. Had that program not been around, the tens of thousands of people who come there every year would not exist.
Shut up! Cowboy poetry, baby. Yeah, that's what our tax dollars are being used for right now. That's why we have almost $15 trillion in debt, for Christ's sake. Because we're funding crap like cowboy poetry, huh? And let me tell you, I know I'm from Texas, folks. I know I'm from Texas, but I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like assholes who wear cowboy hats. All right, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Now I know that my avatar has got a cowboy hat on. But that's just symbolic, Texas. Hey, I'm from Texas, boy. But unless you're going to some kind of honky-tonk or, some kind of like, country bar or something, and, you want to dress up in a little costume and makes you feel better, like the goth kids, how they dress up in all that, makeup and all that crap, like the rappers, these people that listen to all that rap crap, go to the hip-hop clubs with their pants sagging and all that crap. Then I understand, okay, you can wear a damn cowboy hat and dance your little do-si-do or whatever the hell you do, and okay, great, I get it. All right? But if you're one of these assholes who goes into, like, church or goes into a goddamn shopping mall wearing a goddamn cowboy hat, you look like an obnoxious 10-year-old boy, for Christ's sake. I mean, we might as well put you, fake cap guns on the side of your ass and, call you Billy the Kid, for Christ's sake. I mean, do we ever grow up, for Christ's sake? I mean, does anybody ever grow up? Now we got cowboy poetry. I didn't even know cowboys, first of all, were still around. Secondly, I didn't even know cowboys did poetry. I mean, what the hell? I didn't get this, man. I mean, I didn't get the memo here. Huh? Since when the hell did cowboys read poetry to each other? Can somebody explain that one to me? Huh? I mean, can you explain that to me, how exactly cowboys all of a sudden are just embracing the fact that they're reading poetry to each other, and there's a freaking festival for this, and we're, the American taxpaying dollars, are paying for it? We're paying for cowboy poetry, for Christ's sake. Oh, Jesus Christ, it makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach, man. I mean, I want to hear from you, 646-652-4869. What do you think about cowboy poetry, huh? What do you think about American tax dollars going out for cowboy poetry, for Christ's sake? Cowboy, I mean, good God. Cowboy poetry, for Christ's sake? I mean, what is the world coming to, for Christ's sake? I mean, what is the world coming to? Good God. Piece of crap. Ugh. Cowboy poetry, I mean, good God. Good God. Oh, my I can't calm down. I mean, did you hear Harry Reid sitting over there in the Senate floor taking up for cowboy poetry? Meanwhile, we've got a government that is devaluing our American dollar by continuing to spend our tax dollars. All right? We're continuing to allow this ridiculous government to continue with its overregulation, overtaxation, putting us into socialism. It came out today that 30% of America's income comes from government entitlements. I mean, it's sick, for Christ's sake. And then you got Harry Reid sitting here trying to say that we need to, to not cut whatever stupid little pork barrel project he's got going on there in Nevada called cowboy poetry. I mean, what the hell do you feel about cowboy poetry? I got to hear from you. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Area code 213, you're on the air.
I tell you what, though, I don't like that cowboy poetry, baby, because it's taking money out of my pocket. My welfare check don't take consideration inflation. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to feed my kids, though?
Oh, right. Why am I supposed to give two hours passion about feeding your kids? Why am I supposed to care?
Because y'all out there spending that money on cowboy poetry when y'all could be giving me money.
Oh, Jesus.
My baby's running out of Similac.
Stop choking that damn kid, all right? Stop it.
I ain't choking no kid, Ghost. I done told you that. I ain't choking no kid. That's
you're choking. You're
my
choking
kid,
that kid. Get him off. You see, that's where you get it. 213, straight out of California. This is the kind of crap you get. They choke their kids on the microphone trying to suck the emotion out of capitalists, and it ain't going to work. I mean, yeah, I don't like cowboy breakfast whatever the hell it's called, cowboy, what is it called? But poetry. I'm sorry, they got cowboy breakfast over here in Texas, for Christ's sake. I'm serious. Out here in Texas, every year they go out in the outskirts of San Antonio out there and have a breakfast. Giving out free, powdered egg tacos with, crap tortillas. And these idiots all go from all around Texas and go meet up at whatever area they're having the cowboy breakfast and give out free tacos like it's Salvation Army or some crap. I mean, this is how stupid it's getting. Now, I thought that was stupid. I thought the cowboy breakfast was stupid. Now we got cowboy poetry. I mean, good God. Now, let me tell you something right now, okay? I actually was able to get a hold of one of these, cowboy poetry poets here. And, since I'm paying for this and everybody else in the United States is paying for cowboy poetry, I figured that why not get a little bit of taste, not literally, but let's get a little bit of a whiff. Well, I don't even want a whiff, but let's just be presented some form of cowboy poetry so that, maybe it'll change our minds, Maybe we'll be for cowboy poetry. Maybe we want to donate to Cowboy Poetry Festival. Maybe we want to enter the cowboy. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, what I'd like to know if there's any Indians allowed in cowboy poetry. Huh? What about Indian poetry? Huh? What about, poetry from Chief Slapaho? Huh? What if Chief Slapaho came in with all his Indian garb and feathers and started saying, hey, I mean, what is it, the cowboy poet's going to roll his ass or something? Anyway, I'm sorry. I know there's people sitting here saying, oh, man, it's racist. I'm not talking about. Look, I'm not being racist against Indians, all right? It's just, I'll be honest with you, they just can't handle their fire water, all right? That's all I got to say. I mean, that's all I got to say about India. They can't handle their fire water, and don't smoke their peace pipes. That's all I got to say, all right? Don't smoke their peace pipes. Anyway, folks, I've got somebody here. I think we got him on the horn. Somebody is going to present us a little bit of what cowboy poetry is supposed to be like. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring on the cowboy poet, shall we? Are you there, sir? Okay, I think we got music for him here. Okay, he's just going to come in. All right, go ahead. Yeah, I'm the cowboy poet. I call this cowboy poetry, boy. As I sit here in the bright moonlight, I'm thinking to myself, that poontang ain't that tight. As I look at the fellow ranch hands with their tight jeans and chaps, I think of cowboy poetry and taking them boys to Brokeback. If it wasn't for Harry Reid having this event every year, I would have never have known. I like to take it in the rear. Cowboy poetry, I feel you inside of me. Thank you so much, Harry Reid. Cowboy poetry, tax dollars owed to me. 'Cause every day it hurts when I pee. Cowboy poetry. It's a rump wrangler orgy. Cowboy poetry. Those tax dollars are owed to me. Be free. Cowboy poetry. Gay rights for you and me. I like Brokeback, you see. And I want to thank you, Harry Reid, for giving tax dollars to me. Thank you, Harry Reid. Those tax dollars are owed to me. Because it hurts when I pee. Cowboy poetry. Thank you very much. All right. I mean, get him off. Get him off! I mean, I'm not literally either. I mean, there it is right there, folks. All right? That's what Harry Reid is basically spending our money, our taxpaying dollars on. He was on the floor of the Senate backing up cowboy poetry. And if you don't believe me, let's go ahead and listen to Harry Reid one more time on the Senate floor while we're trying to debate for a budget and to prevent a damn government shutdown up in here. Here we got Harry Reid on the Senate floor talking about cowboy poetry. Go ahead and roll that crap again.
The National Endowment of Humanities is a reason we have in Northern Nevada every January the Cowboy Poetry Festival. Had that program not been around, the tens of thousands of people who come there every year would not exist.
You hear that? Cowboy poetry, baby. Give me a goddamn break. Anyway, I want to hear from you. What do you think about this damn crap? Cowboy poetry? Cowboy poetry. Our dollar is losing value. We're sitting here in amidst of a possible double-dip recession. All kinds of destabilization in the Middle East. The barrel of oil could go up the roof. High gas prices. These idiots are arguing about cowboy poetry. Huh? I bet you the Poe in America are a little pissed off, aren't they, huh? Oh, yeah, I bet you the Poe in America is like, man, baby, I thought I was going to vote for Democrat, baby, and they was going to vote people in that was going to give me more money in my pocket, baby. I thought they was going to give me more entitlement, baby. I thought they were going to give me more money, more food, more money, more food for my kids, baby, my kids. And they giving it to cowboy poetry, baby. I don't get it, baby. I don't get it, man. I'm serious. Jesus Christ. Cowboy freaking poetry. I mean, are you kidding me? Good God. Let me take a sip of the sauce here. Let me take a sip of this Macallan scotch. No, some good stuff there, man. Anyway, I would say cheers to everybody out there, but I know that it's kind of uneasy times that we're living in here. We're all anxiously awaiting this Friday, where the Day of Rage in Saudi Arabia is supposed to reveal itself, and there's supposed to be some kind of big, humongous protest that's going to be in opposition of the House of Saud. And believe it or not, the Saudi Arabian royal family is scared crapless. I mean, they don't know what. I mean, they're trying to pay off the people. They've already given the people $36 billion to try to pipe their asses down, and yet they're still organizing on the internet. They're still organizing on Facebook. I mean, it's getting pretty pathetic out here. But still, you know, I want to hear from you. We've been talking about a lot of things. I want to hear from you. 646-652-4869. Let's take some more callers here, shall we? We got Gladys. Are you there? Stupid idiot. You hung on for 2 hours for that, you stupid lamer. 2 hours you were on hold for that. Are you I mean, man, come on, man. Instead of wasting your time and, you know, hey, look, he's going to answer. I know he is, and I'm going to play this song, and it's going to be the brightening of my day. Instead of going out there and becoming a goddamn loser, why don't you go out and become a winner? You know, why don't you start investing? Why don't you get a job? Why don't you do something, you know? I mean, give me a break. Anyway, let's take some more callers here. We've got 2715 numbers, for Christ's sake. Let's put them both on the horn. What do y'all want?
Hey, Ghost, if Christians don't believe in evolution, then why do they play Pokemon? Your thoughts?
If Christians don't believe in evolution, why do they play Pokemon? I don't know, because, you know, I'm not sitting here promoting any kind of religious doctrine, all right? What I'm promoting is capitalism, all right? So I don't speak for Christians when I get up on here. I don't speak for any religious institution. As a matter of fact, I am completely against institutionalism, all right? Religious institutionalism, political institutionalism, I think it's disgusting that we sit here and still give these, primitive systems of the past any more credibility than it deserves, in my personal opinion. So I don't speak, you know, I don't speak for, the Christians and them playing Pokemon or anything of that nature. As a matter of fact, for all you Catholics are out there, you know, I'm starting to see all you bastards with the damn, what do you call it, the ashes on your head. I mean, come on, man, all right? I mean, seriously. I mean, I think it was Bill Hicks that said it best when he said, do you think when Jesus comes back, do you think he actually wants to see a fucking cross? You know, and then here you are, you know, putting it on your head, and, you know, I think that it's, you know, if I was Jesus, I'd be a little pissed off about it, you know? Yeah, today is Ash Wednesday, folks. I mean, that's usually what happens after Fat Tuesday. It's Ash Wednesday. All the Catholics and those of Christian denomination, I presume. I don't know. I've never been a very religious man. I've been a conservative man, just based upon decent society and social order. But I've never been a tremendously religious man. But at the same time, I'm not saying I'm an atheist either. All right, I don't believe that we came out of a monkey's ass and out came human beings, and here we are. I don't believe that either. But I'm not here to promote what I believe as far as a religious doctrine. As a matter of fact, I'm against religious institutionalism. I'm against scientific institutionalism, believe it or not. I mean, I'm about the purest form of humanity out of capitalism. And I know that people will make the argument that capitalism is not natural, it's artificial. But it fucking works. Excuse my French. It works. I mean, I make the argument in my blog, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. All right, that's ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. And if you scroll down to where it says, what it takes to be a capitalist, I describe that capitalism provides an avenue for the thematic internal contradiction that's a part of the human equation. Meaning that throughout the halls of history, throughout the timelines of history, we have seen thymos unearth itself with wars, destruction, human devastation. And it was based upon institutionalist thematic principles. You know, all these institutions of history's past have done nothing but destroyed the human equation and have separated us and, you know, have made us apprehensive about one another and have put us back in different class systems and that sort of thing. All right? So in my personal opinion, I think that every kind, and somebody's saying educational institutionalism, you're damn right. Any kind of institutionalism is a joke. I mean, the government should just be in charge to make sure that there is civil order, rule of law, and protection of property. That's it. All right? That's what the government's job should be. I mean, all this other crap, you know, funding cowboy poetry and, you know, putting all this money and all this other crap is not a part of the Constitution if we still want to abide by that document. And it's not a part of, you know, any kind of model of governments past that have proven a successful one. So that's why I get a little upset, for Christ's sake. And capitalism, on the other hand, capitalism provides an opportunity for those of us that are civil and want to live in decent society to participate in thematic episodes, if you will, so that the spectators of the participants in a capitalist thematic venture can actually become a part of the spectacle themselves by profiting or taking one side against the other. I wrote all about this on my blog, folks, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. I'm telling you, capitalism works, and it doesn't matter what government it is. As long as the government embraces the capitalist economic global model, everything will be perfect. Everything will be fine. Everything won't be fine when there is no economic model and we're going back to bartering. You know, and that's what I don't want to go back to, all right? I don't want to basically go back to bartering like, hey, look, I got this cow here. I'm going to go ahead and trade it. Can you give me, you know, I don't know, your daughter or something? I don't want to go back to that crap, all right? I don't want to go back to that crap. We're in modernity, for Christ's sake. We're in the day and age where people are still bitching in America. We're still bitching, and yet there's a dollar menu on every freaking corner in this country. We're still bitching, right? We're still bitching when, you know, we can go at 3:30 in the morning in our dirty-ass, crusty underwear to a hamburger establishment and get ourselves an artery-clogging triple cheeseburger, for Christ's sake. You know, we're still bitching, and they reported it today on Fox Business Channel. Charles Payne, early this morning, announced it that, hey, 30% of America's income now comes directly from the government entitlements. And we're supposed to think that America is still the bastion of capitalism? We're the bastards! We have become the bastards of capitalism, and I'm ashamed to say it. I'm ashamed to say it, for Christ's sake, and every American that's a capitalist out there should be ashamed of this crap, too. I mean, seriously, man, it's horrible, it's sick, it's disgusting, it makes me want to puke, and I don't even know what else to say, for Christ's sake. I mean, 30% of America's income? I mean, come on, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I want to talk about something else. I got to move on to some other subject matters. We are in the third hour of the True Capitalist radio program. I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in with me live today. Please retweet the program right now. Let everybody know that Ghost is live, in effect, and in the house, and send them to blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right, that's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Send them over here, for Christ's sake, and let them know what it's all about. The True Capitalist Radio is in the house, and let everybody kick back with us, chill with us, chat with us. If you happen to be listening to us on podcast, you're missing a lot. Oh, man, you're listening a lot. Remember to tune in with us, man, live, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, so make sure to check up with us, man, because the live show kicks ass. You see all the people that are in the chat room. You know, it's funny. You know, I like to read the chat room while I'm doing the program, and all these, you know, there's a lot of positive people. There's a lot of individuals that are actually true capitalists in here, and I want to say what's up to them. As a matter of fact, I want to say what's up to them right now. We got Capitalizing Sereno in the house, Debbie Daly in the house, Future DMB, what's up, man? Goku, what's up, Goku in the house, man? My kid's in the house. Michael Thomas in the house. Nigerian in the house. I can't say that name. Gotta Eat in the house. I've seen him many times. I can't say that name on the damn air. Rob Dar is in the house. The tech guy. What's going on, the tech guy? The truth is out there. What's going on? The truth is out there. Seen you many times. And, of course, Vincent the Bay's in the house. What's up, man? But everybody else, there's other people out here that are in the chat room that like to flap their fat Dorito-stained fingers on the keyboard talking garbage about yours truly. And the only reason that they talk garbage about yours truly and talk a bunch of malarkey about me is because these people can't even put a down payment on a sandwich, and they like to blame capitalists like myself for their problems as if I have some sort of control over their stupid personal responsibilities. I don't. Let me go ahead and take a sip of this. I'm sipping on some Macallan, folks, some Macallan Scotch. Hey, what's up, Ludwig? I'm sipping on some Macallan Scotch here. Oh, yeah, that tastes pretty damn good. Anyway, 646-652-4869. I want to hear from you. I want to talk a little bit about Raja Taman. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. Raja Mantan or some crap. I don't know what the hell it's called. Raja Mana. I don't mean to butcher up the man's name, but you see it there in the description, correct? Raja Matan. Well, this guy is actually, or he was, a hedge fund manager. In hedge funds, folks, if you don't know what it is, go look it up. It's a guy who controls people's money and tries to make profits for them, kind of like Bernie Madoff, all right? Well, anyway, he is being put on trial. He's being put on trial for insider trading because what is alleged by the government is that an individual, a guy by the name of Gupta, I forgot his first name, not Sanjay Gupta, the CNN guy, but some other investor. He was actually in a meeting with Warren Buffett where Warren Buffett discussed the fact that he was going to invest in Goldman Sachs when everybody was basically abandoning ship on Goldman Sachs. Everybody was just, this was about 2009 when everything was just completely down the tubes. As a matter of fact, folks, once again, I hate to keep reiterating this, but today is the day 2 years ago when the Dow Jones Industrials was about 6,500 points. Today is the day 2 years ago that the S&P 500 was 600 points. So that's why I'm saying, this is the time when Raja Mantan, or whatever his name was, did this insider trading. Now, Gupta was in this meeting with Warren Buffett, which was a secret meeting. There was only a few people in that meeting. Warren Buffett said he was going to invest a considerable amount of money in Goldman Sachs. In turn, Gupta called Raja Mantan, or whatever the hell is Mamtab, or whatever the hell his name is, called this guy and said, "Hey, you never know what I just heard. I was just in the room with Warren Buffett, and Warren Buffett said he's going to invest in Goldman Sachs." "Yeah, that's right, Raj. He's going to invest in Goldman Sachs. So I advise you to go out and see if you can make money on the Goldman Sachs because that's what Warren Buffett is going to." Shut up. So anyway, Raj, right after getting this call from Gupta, basically hangs up the phone and buys a tremendous amount of stock in Goldman Sachs and ends up profiting $1 million, or almost $1 million. And now the government is basically putting him on trial for insider trading because of that particular transaction right there. Now, I'm not trying to be Mr. Pro-government here. But once again, laws are they're there for a reason. And, if you become one of these people that, just has an inside track on corporate information, it nullifies the whole concept of market economy. I'm hearing these whack jobs on the business channels actually talking about that this should not be a crime, that insider trading should be legal. And as a matter of fact, that the corporations should be selling their information, which is ridiculous, which would screw up the whole concept of investment. I mean, I'm a stockholder in a bunch of companies, for Christ's sake. I would be pissed. I would be freaking pissed if I found out my board of directors or my CEO was selling information to investors so that they can get the heads up on a specific investment. I think that's just disgraceful, man. Because let me tell you something, folks. All the stock picks that I pick, I mean, I don't have no inside track. You know, everybody should be exposed to the same amount of information as everybody else is. There should be no reason why some asshole hedge fund manager should get the inside track, to get the inside track on anything, for Christ's sake. So, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up, folks, because insider trading, in my personal opinion, it's just not fair to the investor, man. It's not fair. All right, I mean, the individual investor. That's what it'll screw up the stock market, screws up the integrity of the whole damn market, for Christ's sake. And you've actually got idiots on financial news channels saying that it should be legal and they should sell the information on the market. Good God. Good Lord. 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. What do you think, for Christ's sake? You know, what the hell do you think about this crap? I want to hear from you, all right? 408, you're on the air.
It's popping, Ghost. It's Goofy Bone.
Hey, what's up, man? It's Goofy Bone in the house, man. What's going on?
Hey, happy Ash Wednesday, even though I'm ashing a blunt right now. Happy Ash Wednesday.
No, hey, man, I mean, I'm doing all right. I mean, you know, like I said, my positions in the market are pretty diversified. So, you know, if anything fluctuates, even if the equities happen to take a tank, I'm invested securely in gold, commodities. I'm invested securely in oil. So, I mean, either way, I mean, if the seesaw goes one way or the other way, I'm doing good, man. How about you, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. You know, you got me into oil, so I'm all, what was his name? Jethro Tallin, or what's his name, from the Beverly Hillbillies. I'm all him now, so.
Hey, and let me tell you, I know that they took a little bit of a dip today, but I mean, the investors are idiots now. I mean, I think that they're over speculating. They're not making nothing out of what is happening in the Middle East. I think that just on the news that Libya's Gaddafi is having airstrikes on oil rigs that have been taken over by the rebels, should throw some cause for concern for the oil markets. Now, what we're all looking for is this Friday, man. This Friday is going to be the day to tell whether or not our double-dip recession is going to happen or it's not going to happen. All right? Now, this Friday is the date. Go ahead.
You know, if this Friday happens, I'm glad it'll happen, because if something bad was to happen to that country, like, say, earthquake or something crazy, Godzilla came and stomped them, America would be the first one to lend their hand and all the rest of their money that they so-called have, even though we're in a recession and all this other bullshit. But see, this country, they're over here being greedy with their oil and all this other crap, and they're going to sit here and make money off this.
Well, believe it or not, believe it or not, I mean, they're not trying to make money off this. I mean, the Saudi Arabians are very scared. As a matter of fact, they're so scared that they've upped production. And this is one of the reasons why we're seeing the dip in oil, because the Saudis have guaranteed, and not only the Saudis, but the people from the United Arab Emirates, a couple of the oil-producing countries in that region have promised the United States to up production so they can lower the price of oil. But the problem is that
that's not going to happen, Come on.
I mean, actually, it is happening. But the problem is that what if something happens in Saudi Arabia? I mean, what if this is what we're looking for right now. If anything happens to Saudi Arabia this Friday, if there's any images that correlates or the resemblance of Egypt or any of these other uprisings that are happening in the Middle East, you can pretty much bet that we're going to be in a double-dip recession, because the next week,
of course we are,
unless something happens on Friday and the oil spikes, and then throughout the weekend they settle it down or something. But I don't see that happening, man. I mean, the Saudis are doing everything to prevent this day of rage on Friday. They paid the people $36 billion. They've tried to forgive.
It's going to happen.
I know.
Because of that stupid Will Ghanem that rallied all those fucking idiots up. Now everybody thinks that they could get a little in the quad high school rally together and, we're going to fight for freedom, and they don't even know what the fuck they're fighting for. They're just like the idiots over there in where's it at? With the teachers. The kids, we're just
Wisconsin, Idaho, Wisconsin, Indianapolis, Illinois, California, they're everywhere.
We're rallying over here because we don't know what we're rallying for, but we're just rallying because the teachers. Yeah, that's what we're rallying.
Not to mention, I know that you're from San Jose. I actually heard this morning from some San Jose councilman. Because of the high unionization of most things in California, and because of the high bureaucracy that California has, this councilman, to try to cut down on spending and be a fiscally responsible politician, he actually was trying to fire his receptionist. Because she was getting paid, believe it or not, $70,000 a year to answer this councilman's phone. $70,000 a year this bimbo was getting for answering a phone and shuffling some papers. Well,
look at that little town in California that they're
Bell, California. Bell, California. Yeah.
Look at them. 400 and something thousand a year for what? 120,000 residents. Come on now, people. For real. California did it to themselves. Why? Because we put the actor in the fucking driver's seat, and he acted his way right down the fucking way that it was going to happen. Gray Davis, he was trying to keep it afloat. He was juggling it, yeah. But, the Arnold Schwarzenegger era came and muscled his way through, and what happened? I'm going to help the teachers and all this other. I'm going to help the schools. Yeah, right. He yanked all the money from the schools, and now all the schools are in fucking debt. You got 20 different elementary schools shutting down, and now 2 schools in one district is going to be an elementary school and a high school mixed with a junior high. That's how all the California cities are nowadays.
Believe me, I know it's terrible, and let me tell you this. I'm not trying to promote Arnold Schwarzenegger here. I think that he was a liberal in Republicans' clothing, but in my personal opinion, I don't think he could have cut, in the appropriate places that he wanted to cut because of the unions, man. This councilman in San Jose. I don't mean to get back to this, but this councilman.
What's his name?
I forgot his name, man.
I tend to fight with a lot of councilmen because I hang around downtown San Jose a lot because I'm a rapper. I try to sell my CDs. But they all go to this one Starbucks. And I always see some way when they're waiting for their Starbucks, I always get them. Like, I always attack them like I'm some sort of reporter. But, I always go, hey, I voted for you. So they'll listen to you once they say you voted for them. But if you're going to go over there and attack them, they're not going to hear your nonsense but shit. I always do that.
And let me tell you, 2 years ago, Goofy, he tried to fire this bimbo, and to fire somebody that's a union worker, it takes a long process. So it wasn't till now that he got the response from the union that he can't fire her, and he's got to continue to, have this broad answer his phones and shuffle his papers for $70,000 a year. $70,000 a year.
Fault is that, though? You're going to sit here and blame the councilman? No, you're going to blame whoever did the HR papers and submitted her paperwork. Because, come on, seriously. For that kind of job here in California, that would probably be about $25,000 to $30,000 a year. But because it's a
the thing about union jobs, Goof. The thing about unions jobs is that it increases. It's in the contract to increase every year that they work.
I hear all the union stuff because I fuck a lot of union bitches. Why? Because a certain line of work I used to be in, I would have to talk to all these broads. But I'm telling you, Ghost, the unions out here, they're not like the unions that you seem to think about. The unions out here, they are rotten, low ballers. They'll do anything to save a penny. To be honest with you, I think they're all Jews. To be honest with you, but don't quote me on that. But yeah.
All right, hey Goof, I'm gonna move on, man. You got any? Go for it.
Yeah. I just wanted to say cheers to you, Ghost. I'm popping one right now. I know you're drinking Mac.
What you got? What you got drinking?
Well, you know me. I'm a plain old Mexican. I'm drinking a Corona, so you know I gotta pop one open with a lighter.
No,
but
Coronas
anyway,
ain't bad, man. Coronas ain't bad.
Let me plug something real quick. www.weedmaps.com. Find your local bud near you. And I'm out of here. Just leave me online, Ghost, because I'm just tuning in. And much love to everybody. Happy Ash Wednesday, everybody.
All right, man. Thanks a lot, Goofy, man. We appreciate it. And thanks for calling, man. Thanks for listening. That was Goofy Bone, everybody. He's an avid listener, an avid caller, and a capitalist out here listening to the True Capitalist radio broadcast. Let's continue on with the caller, shall we? We had a lot of things to talk about. Another thing I want to talk about is the discontent and the anger that's growing in the private sector against people that are working for the government. Because people that are working for the government, I heard a statistic today, they're actually making almost 4 times as much as the average private sector worker in today's America. And yet the public laborers, as you can see all across the country, are, sitting there in the streets with their stupid picket signs and their simplistic demeanor that they're sitting here trying to extort the taxpayer of even more and more money. Why? Because, I deserve my bureaucratic pay. I deserve an 8% increase on my pension every year till I die. I deserve an annual increase just for seniority pay. I deserve lifetime tenure. I mean, nobody deserves this kind of crap. I mean, can we please slap these stupid public workers back into reality, for Christ's sake? I mean, let me tell you something right now. If I were a governor of a state like Wisconsin and I had this type of problem with the goddamn unions, for Christ's sake, you know what I would do? I would say, okay, since y'all want to bitch and moan, okay, this is the last year you assholes are working. We're making a whole transition. All the teachers that are out there in America that want to get paid and they want to be paid on a non-union basis and based upon your abilities to be able to teach the children, come on up here, I should say. Come on up here to Wisconsin. We'll hire you. Screw these union bastards and just rip up their fucking contract and shove it up their ass. I'm sick and tired of these public workers extorting tax money out of not only my tax dollars, but everybody across the country. I don't care if you're a municipal worker, a state worker, or a federal worker, all right? I mean, you idiots need to get off your high horse and stop, rioting in the streets as if they're taking away your damn freedom of speech or something. Stop going out here with your damn picket signs as if they're forcing you to take one up the ass or some kind of crap like that. I mean, it's sick, man. I mean, it's sick. I mean, do you see these people that are, yeah, man, don't take away my human rights, baby. My collective bargaining, baby. Yeah, it's my right to extort the taxpayer, baby. It's my right to utilize the children for more money, baby. It's my right, baby. And I think that the private sector has every ethical reason to look at these pieces of garbage and spit on these damn public workers. I'm sorry, all right? I'm sorry. Let me tell you something. I am completely disgusted with public work. And not just teachers, man. It's not just teachers. It's all public workers. They're all out there. They're like, yeah, man, it's not fair, baby. My job, my kids, baby. My job, my kids. Don't do it. My kids. I mean, are you kidding me, man? I mean, everybody else in America has to deal with the economic recession. Everybody else in America had to deal with being foreclosed on and having all the economic hardships. Why can't we, just tell these stupid public workers that, hey, we can't afford it, you idiot. You ungrateful, stagnant assholes. We can't afford to keep paying you these exuberant amounts of money, Can you explain this to me? Can somebody explain to this why, especially these teachers? I mean, you would think that if anybody got it, it would be the teachers, right? I mean, common sense would tell you that, hey, the teachers, they're teaching the children, they got to know math, they got to know society, right? I mean, they're educated. You would think that they would understand that, yeah, we do need to cut back. Yeah, the states can't afford my pay. Hey, yeah, we do need to do some cutting. But no, they don't. They don't think of it that way. You want to know why? Because just as I told that caller from area code 425, that's why the kids don't care. They've been bamboozled. They've been hoodwinked. They are a victim of institutionalism. And that's why whenever you go to public education, you're not taught about the stock market. You're not taught how to make a business. You're not taught to even how to balance your freaking checkbook. You're not taught any of these integral applications of all the crap they're supposed to be teaching you in school. Why? Because it's not about teaching you anything other than to obey the institution. All right? That's what they're teaching you to do. That's why they're implementing political correctness with our children. That's why they're implementing these sexual deviant ideas and embracing these ridiculous, whacked-out expressions like Lady Gaga as mainstream pop culture, for Christ's sake. Do you understand what I'm saying? These people are living in some kind of a goddamn fantasy land out here. That's what future DMV here said. They're living in a damn fantasy land. It's a disgrace. And the thing is that the youth of America, the kids, I'm talking about anybody who's under the age of 40, for Christ's sake. I'm not joking. All right? People that are under the age of 40 need to start realizing that your future is in jeopardy. All right? And these old people, they outnumber your ass in the voting booth. All right? So if you think that you're not going to stop paying Social Security and yet you're still going to have it, you got another thing coming. All right? Because let me tell you, here in the next couple of years, they're going to tell you kids that, hey, we're going to phase out Social Security, but the old people are still going to get paid the Social Security. All right? We're going to go ahead and, let the old people to continue to have Social Security, but you're not going to get it, so you're paying for them. Bullshit. Bullshit. You tell the old people, you didn't leave us jack. You didn't leave the youth jack, and you want us to be taxed on this economic landscape where there's barely jobs that are paying out here, there's barely any kind of legitimate economic opportunity, and you want us to pay for your Social Security, you old windbag piece of crap, when you idiots were burning your bras and having mud pit orgies in the 60s and sniffing cocaine off of chicks' asses and wearing bell bottoms and doing a little dance and making a little love in the 70s. And then in the 80s, you decided to become corporate moguls. And I mean, it's disgusting, man. It's disgusting. When is it going to be the youth's time? When is it going to be the young people's time to have these, great memories that these stupid old people like to shove in our faces? Like, oh, yeah, Woodstock was such a great time. And, yeah, we were dropping acid. And we were banging each other like 4, 5, 6 at a time. Oh, yeah, I remember Studio 54 when we were out there sniffing cocaine every time the spoon hit the nose of the moon there in the little club. We all did cocaine with each other and had great orgies and had a great time. Oh, yeah, I remember the 80s when everybody was just doing cocaine and everybody was a corporate mogul. Everybody had money and everybody was rich. I mean, give me a break. When is it going to be the youth's turn? When is it going to be the young people's turn? I'm sorry, folks. I mean, I have compassion here, all right? I mean, I know I'm a part of that older generation, but I've got compassion here, all right? And what sucks is that the young people are too dumb, and it's not their fault. They're dumbed down by this education system. They're dumbed down by this pop culture system that we have going on via MTV and all this entertainment crap. They're dumbed down by the damn higher learning of education institutions, these colleges. They are dumbed down by society. They are dumbed down by their parents. They are dumbed down by every single aspect of life. This is why they have no ambition. This is why they're not going out and stacking their chips. This is why they're not going out and understanding that they have to take responsibility for the actions that are taking place right now. I mean, they got to do this, folks, and this is why I'm calling on you. I'm calling on everybody out there that's a young person. Don't sit here and take this crap. All right, I'm giving you the tools. I'm giving you the ideas. I'm giving you the insight to capitalize. All right, and if you're not capitalizing, you're an idiot. But it's time to capitalize out here, folks. And you got 2 years. You got 2 years left to capitalize, and then I don't know what the hell's going to happen. But until then, it's on and popping, and I'm living at large. I'll tell you that right now. I'm living large, and I'm going to continue doing it. As a matter of fact, cheers to everybody out there. I'm going to take another sip of the scotch, and I'm going to take some calls here. 646-652-4869 is the number to call. Let's go ahead and take some calls here. 404, you're on the air.
Ghost, what's going on? It's Billy D.
Hey, Billy D. Williams in the house, man. What's going on, man?
Not a whole lot. Just had to give you a call, man. It's seems like you said, it's a helter-skelter market out there. But you know what? These are the times when the capitalists get their grind on and start making the money.
You're damn right. And as a matter of fact, if you diversify, this seesaw helter-skelter market will eventually pay itself off for you, because there's definitely going to be dramatic gains, or there has been gains in the commodities market. I'm still bullish on a lot of those commodities that haven't hit their all-time highs yet. I'm very bullish on the metals markets, but some of these equities, you got to be careful, because a lot of it is built on over-speculation. A lot of it's built on hyped-up idealism, to be honest with you. And a lot of the companies with fundamentals that actually have profit, that actually have books that, have been recapitalized with our tax dollars. I mean, things that are actually making profits out here are being overlooked because these, investors are trying to get in on some of these inflated stocks. I don't know if you were listening earlier. I was comparing, one of these inflated stocks. I didn't mean to pick on them, but Chipotle, for instance. I mean, okay, great. They got a good burrito. But on, February 14th, 2011, it hit an all-time high of $275 a stock, all right? Now, I don't know about you, but, I mean, how in the hell can you expect to sustain that level of growth, or let alone even, how did you even get there, to be honest with you, as far as the stock price is concerned? And lo and behold, why do you believe that it's going to continue to grow at that rate? The business model is selling a burrito. I mean, there's over speculation, and of course we saw today, when did it close out? 214 today, which is a traumatic drop. So that's why I'm saying, or whatever, it was 214 on March 1st. Excuse me, not today. It was on March 1st. It was 214. But that's what I'm saying. You're going to start seeing, dramatic decreases in high-priced stocks this way. And right now, a lot of the things that are low on the True Capitalist portfolio are great times to buy right now. Buying low right now at some of these the 52-week lows that are in the True Capitalist portfolio are great buying opportunities. And as a matter of fact, when all the investors finally get hit up with the realization that this bull market was inflated for a lot of reasons, they're going to go back to those growth stocks. They're going to go back to where the profit is, and you're going to see names like GE, Intel, GM, NVIDIA. These stocks that have been completely beat up because these dumbasses don't know what their asses from their elbows, or they can't spot a potential trend if it's slapped them in the mouth. These are the people that are selling off, and I think that these are great buying opportunities, and that's why I haven't suggested another stock there, Billy D, because I don't think there's another stock out there that's worth buying that's on the low at this point in time.
No, I agree with you, and you know what, Ghost? It's funny you mention that, because I actually doubled up my position in Intel today. I mean, the thing's not moving. I'm sitting there going, okay, the financials are there, and like you said, everyone's going to go back to profitability eventually once everything calms down and the market corrects itself, whether that be, the tablets and all this stuff. I mean, they got to have a processing chip inside of it, and guess who that's going to be? It's going to be Intel. It's going to be NVIDIA. It's going to be these companies, and tech is going to start catching up with the rest of the equity markets here eventually.
Certainly, and like I said, we're already starting to see that economic retraction in the equities markets that I predicted earlier in January. It's coming down to the mid part of spring, like I said, and we're starting to see it slowly but surely. And this Friday is going to tell whether or not we're going into a double-dip recession, or we're going to be able to hedge or kind of wave off any potential threats of recession by having these oil prices go down because of the nothing transpiring Friday and the day of rage in Saudi Arabia. But in my opinion, I think the day of rage has some pertinence, and the only reason I'm saying that is because Saudi Arabia is trying its damnedest to stop the day of rage from happening. I mean, they are going as far as paying their people $36 billion out of their House of Saud, empire to kind of pipe these people down. They're forgiving debts. They're doing everything they can, and I don't think that the people want money,
No.
And I think this is serious, man. I think that's why I was so critical about the Egyptian revolution. I thought that was very inappropriate for Google and Facebook and the American government, everybody just to sit by and watch that happen. It just basically allowed the whole destabilization in the whole region. And now we're seeing in Egypt, we touched on this yesterday, it's continuing today, Muslims and Christians are killing themselves in the streets now. And I don't like where that's headed. I think that we're headed towards something that is, some kind of religious-based conflict because of this rise of Arab fervor. And I don't necessarily want to be a predictor or want to get anybody hyped up on this, but just look at the facts, man. I mean, just look at the facts. I mean, go ahead, man.
Yeah, no, I got to agree with you on that, Ghost. It's like Goofy mentioned it too. I really hope, and I'm really hoping that there isn't going to be this mass hysteria on Friday, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're all going to be out there with their shit-stained shorts on, bitching about who knows what. They're sitting there, with all these opportunities to do stuff, and they're still going to bitch and complain, kind of like who's the one guy yesterday? He was sitting there and he came in your chat room and was bitching about, was Jerry again? Did Jerry come in and start bitching about you drinking $400 bottle of scotch?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Poor People's Campaign out of Chicago. Yeah, he was like, man, Ghost, your rich righty ass is numbered, baby. We going to get your rich ass. I mean, he was out here threatening me, for Christ's sake. You see how it's getting? You see how it's getting out here? I mean, it's getting dangerous.
The one thing I don't understand is that this guy has all the time in the world to sit here and go in these chat rooms and do a show and everything, when his sorry ass, or obviously, I guess he's poor. He's part of the Poor People Campaign, but his sorry ass can be out there.
I mean, you only assume, right?
I mean, do something. Go out there and give hand jobs in the parking lot or something. I don't know.
I mean, that's what I tell people. I mean, how can anybody allow themselves to just sit there and go into squalor? I mean, that's just not part of my mental makeup, man. No. I mean, let's say, for some reason, I don't know, I lost everything and I was out in the streets. I mean, why don't you bounce back? All right, why don't you, first thing I would do is look for products to sell. I mean, if I'm a bum and all I got is about $1 in my pocket, I'll go to a damn newspaper machine, pay for one paper, take all the damn sons of bitches, start selling them on the corner.
Yeah, you got it right.
I mean, how hard is this, man? I mean, good
God. You got to do what you got to do. And can I touch real quick on the insider trading? I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, go for it, man.
Yeah, the insider trading, the thing, I definitely agree with you, Ghost. You can't have people with an inside track on this. That's when you start getting into this Enron shit. You start getting into all these other things. But the other thing that I think they haven't touched on, and they really need to, is what about Congress and all these other politicians that They have pretty much no insider trading laws against them, and these dumb bastards sit there, and this is where they end up making all their fucking money, is from them going in and basically
they're insider trading. They're the regulators of the market, so they know what companies are making what. They know the books, they know the forecasts. You're absolutely right. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think Charlie Gasparino was alluding to this today on Fox Business, that had Gupta, the guy who was in the meeting with Warren Buffett, when Warren Buffett announced to this private meeting that he was going to buy Goldman Sachs or make a considerable investment in Goldman Sachs, had Gupta, instead of calling Raja Mantatam, or whatever the hell his name is, instead called Anthony Weiner, and Anthony Weiner bought some stock, that wouldn't be illegal, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I kid you not, it would not be illegal.
Well, I mean, I don't agree with it. I mean, in my opinion, but what they sit there, they make the rules, but they don't play by their own rules. They'll sit there and tell you how to live your life, but then they won't live it themselves.
You're damn right. That's why I'm telling us capitalists, man, we got to watch each other's backs out here. I mean, true capitalists, people that identify themselves as capitalists, not these, assholes that try to play the capitalist game and yet they're, sitting here talking out both sides of their mouth like Michael Moore. This asshole, sits over here and puts himself on a pedestal as if he's a man of the people, and yet he's invested in the same companies that he criticizes. He's a fat jelly-ass bastard, and he sells his documentaries on the big screen for millions of dollars. I mean, if he was really for the people, wouldn't he be doing all this crap for free? I mean, wouldn't he be just going out there and, I mean, the people are poor. They can't afford my movie. Maybe I should just give it out for free on the internet. I mean, they're poor. I'm a liberal. I mean, I care about the people. These are false assholes. And if anybody deserves any kind of venting of frustration, it's not the capitalists. It's these pompous ass socialist liberals that are out here sitting here talking about we the people rhetoric, and in their private lives they're talking this socialist nonsense from the back of their mansions. I mean, that's why us capitalists need to identify with each other. We need to realize that we can't allow this government to get any more power than it already has. And we need to start asserting ourselves and making sure this government hears us, or we should just leave the goddamn country. That's all there is to it. And I hate to say it, but if they ain't going to listen to us and they're going to be socialists and they're going to embrace the Poe in America and they're going to continue to coddle, stagnant human activity, well, then we need to get the hell out of here. And then once the big wigs, the people with the money, the capitalists get out of the country and they ain't getting no more taxes, then this goddamn place is going to turn into some technocratic third world nation, and then they're going to wonder, man, why did this happen, baby? And it happened because you idiots depended on the government. That's why.
You ain't got no $400 bottle of scotch, baby. But,
well, I'll still have one. It's just not here.
Oh, yeah. It'll just be in Japan or New Zealand or wherever the fuck you go.
Yeah, wherever. But South America's not looking too bad either. And there's a lot of areas now that are not looking too bad.
But anyway, Ghost, I appreciate the time, anytime talking with you. And like you said, anytime you listen to Ghost, it's like making freaking money. And I'm going to chug a beer right now. And
cheers, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
I appreciate it. That's Billy D. Williams, man. You have a blog or anything, man? You want to plug anything yet?
I still don't got the blog. I'm like I said, I'm playing with my pink pecker shaft right now.
No, don't worry about it, man. You're probably working. You're probably making moves. I mean, it takes some time to do all this crap. Believe me, I'm doing it, so I hear you.
Yeah, I'm staying on the grind, but you know what? I need to get down this weekend. I'll get something going, and I'll hit you up next week for something.
All right, man. Now, thank you for calling there, Billy D. It's always good talking to you, man. You have a good one. Keep capitalizing.
All right, you too.
Later on. Yeah, that was Billy D. Williams there, an avid listener of the True Capitalist radio broadcast, and I want to thank him for tuning in and listening in. Anyway, folks, we're talking about a variety of different subject matters here. Talking about the insider trading deal with Raja Rajamanam, or Rajanam. Yeah, Raja Rajanam. There you go. Raja Rajanam. There you go. He's been put on trial right now for insider trading, and in my personal opinion, I think that this individual was insider trading. I mean, you can't take a phone call and then 5 minutes after you hang up buy so many shares of Goldman right after Gupta, who was in the meeting where Buffett alluded to the fact that he was going to invest in Goldman Sachs. I mean, you just can't do that, man. It's not fair. I mean, that's no skill whatsoever. I mean, that's the whole purpose of this market. That's what makes a good speculator a good speculator. That's what makes a good prognosticator a good prognosticator. You're not supposed to know, because if let me tell you, if anybody has the inside track on something, then we're all screwed. It ruins the integrity of the market, man. It ruins the integrity of the market. And any of these assholes on these damn financial networks that are sitting here saying, we should have insider trading. The company should be able to sell their information on the market. Sell their information on the market? I mean, what kind of nonsense is that, for Christ's sake? I mean, like I said, I am a stockholder in many companies, and I would be pissed off, to say the least, to know that any of the damn corporate idiots in that infrastructure or any of the board members were selling the inside information to give somebody an inside track on a stock. No freaking way, man. No freaking way. And Billy D. Williams did bring up a great point that these politicians, believe it or not, they have the inside track. Why do you think that all these politicians, after they get out of office, become millionaires? Well, they become millionaires because, they've got the inside track on the goddamn stocks that are being put forth here. They're the regulators, remember? They're the ones who know about the books. They're the ones who know about everything, for Christ's sake. So they're the ones that, of course, they're going to have great stock picks. I mean, look at that idiot. What the hell is his name? Chertoff, that asshole who was the Homeland Security Director, that soulless cash whore bastard. He looks like Dr. Sith or Evil Sith, for Christ's sake. One of the most cold, disgusting pieces of garbage. What happened to him? He became a millionaire in, security. He's the asshole who's putting all these body scanners in your airports all across the country. Yeah. Michael Chertoff. Yeah, you can thank him, who was the previous Homeland Security director out there, or the head of the Homeland Security in the Bush administration. This idiot actually is now the main guy. I think he owns. I don't know if he owns majority stock or he's a CEO, but I know for a fact it's because of him we've got those goddamn X-ray machines that take pictures of your Johnson right before you get on a goddamn plane. And who knows how much radiation you're exposed to every time you get your damn Johnson photographed underneath your drawers. I mean, who the hell knows? And nobody's talking about this. We're just, we can't have this anymore. We cannot have the merging of private enterprise and government. We just can't do it, man. I mean, capitalists need to understand this. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that I'm investing in a couple of companies, or there's a couple of companies in the True Capitalist portfolio that took taxpayer money and got recapitalized, and there's an element of merging with the government with these companies. But I mean, even though I don't agree with it politically, I think it's sad. I think it's pathetic. I'm not going to sit by and not capitalize because of it. So this is why I know that, anytime a company gets recapitalized and all their debts get paid off, with money coming in from the taxpayer or out of nowhere, technically, that their fundamentals should be okay here in the next year or two. You know what I'm talking about? As a matter of fact, GM just posted a humongous profit. They posted a profit, and they paid profit sharing to their employees. And this just goes to show you, how much GM has influenced the car market, thanks to our government. I mean, GM at this point in time, because of the investment in from our tax dollars into this company, they have become more international in car production. Yeah, I mean, they've penetrated the Chinese market. They've penetrated the European market. They're going to South America. They're going to all these emerging markets, for Christ's sake, And lo and behold, they're being less dependent on the American market, and I see a lot of room for growth on there. Do I agree that the government should have, paid them off or should have recapitalized their books? Absolutely not. But that's just the way it is. Jesus Christ, there's only 13 minutes left in the broadcast. I haven't even taken a break. Jesus Christ, there's just so much information to go around today, folks. I'm concerned. I'm genuinely concerned about this bull, or whatever they call this bull market that we're in. Be tentative, folks, when it comes to the equities markets. Be very tentative. If you're going to invest in anything, invest in equities that relate to commodities that are going to go up the roof or that are already up the roof. You understand what I'm saying? And also, look at people. Look around you. Look at what people are buying. Look at what people are purchasing. Look at what people are wearing. Go to the grocery store. Look at people's baskets. Take a look at what brands they're buying. These are the types of things that you should gauge where you invest your money. You've got to compile all the information on top of economic indicators, data, news, political news. You got to compile all this to have the stock market beat, man. Anyway, 646-652-4869 is the number to call here. Let's take a couple of more callers. 111, you're on the air.
Hey, Ghost.
What's going on?
Oh, not too much. It's Moxie from the BWC.
Hey, what's going on, Moxie?
Well, I want to thank you for the tip on investing in the soybean futures.
Okay.
going to work out pretty well for me. But I wanted to ask you a question about the private market.
Go for it.
Because there's been a lot of discussion lately about what the government can do better for the country than some sort of privatized company. And I can't really think of anything. Can you?
No, the government, anything the government touches, it usually falls apart. I mean, this is the whole reason why the real estate market went kaput in 2008 was because the government was involved in it. The government was the one promoting, to the American people that, hey, if you got a pulse, you should have a house. And, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, these, financial lenders that are backed up by our tax dollars, allowed people to get homes that didn't deserve to get homes. And that's the government's fault. Another government, failure is public education. You want another government failure, just go and get your license renewed and see how long that takes. I mean, it's just everything that government touches sucks, man.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. If the Postal Service, the U.S. Postal Service, disappeared tomorrow, I wouldn't miss them at all.
Yeah, who the hell needs them? We may miss them a little bit, but now that they're starting to, be in comparison to prices that are in the private sector, like UPS and FedEx, I mean, why do we even need them around? And you want to know why these costs keep going up? They have to pay pensions to employees that retire. They have to pay these dramatic increases to people that, let's be honest, they do nothing but sort mail for 40 years, and, they get paid about $70, $80, $90, $100,000 a year. I mean, this is what we're paying for every time we send a letter. You see, in a private enterprise, that won't happen. I mean, there will be perks. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can't, a market is only going to accept what, the market will accept. If the market's going to accept low wages, well, then that's what the market's going to accept. But, if there's a demand in a certain sector, like in shipping, for instance, you're still going to have perks. You're still going to have profit sharing. You're still going to have 401ks. You're still going to have these things. The thing is, though, is that it's not going to be disproportional compared to everybody else. It's going to be comparable to those that are in the private sector. Those that work for the government, it's so disproportional that they're living in a different reality. And as a result, what really sucks is that these government employees, this is why everything that the government touches sucks, Moxie, is because every time that there's bureaucracy that's in charge of anything, they have no vested interest to make sure that it works. All they have a vested interest, they just have a vested interest in making sure that next year their job is secure enough to continue paying. That's all. That's all they care about. That's it.
Yeah, I totally agree. And listen to this. Where I live part-time during the year, the Postal Service does not deliver packages. It doesn't matter if it's overnight or if it's just a regular parcel. They don't deliver, and this is, quote, no package.
Oh, man. And I'm sure that has something to do with some union crap or something caused that particular thing to happen. That's just disgusting. That's horrible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the woman, she's a little overweight, and I'm thinking, lazy? What is it? It's a small post office.
Oh, you took a package, and they said they don't send packages?
Okay, Ghost, if you send a package to me, the post office would just automatically put a little note in my box that says that they missed me and they couldn't deliver. And I have to go to the post office and wait in line. They don't deliver packages.
I mean, that's just stupid, man. That's union if I've ever heard it, man. That's unionized crap. I'm sure that some union out there, wherever you're located, was like, it's just too much work and too much trouble for packages and mail, and I mean, it's sad. This is what happens to government whenever they have their hands in anything, man. It's stupid. Anyway, Moxie, I'm about to run out of time. You want to plug anything on the show here?
Oh, not today, but thank you so much for always running a great show, Ghost.
No problem. Thank you for listening, man.
Yeah, always.
All right, man. You take it easy, Moxie. Keep capitalizing, all right? And let me tell you, screw the government and everything that they try to implement upon us. The government's only reason to exist is to make sure that there is a rule of law where there's not, Jehudis like there are in Egypt going out and raping women and, looting businesses and people's homes. Secondly, protection of property. So to make sure that people that actually own property, it's protected and won't be looted upon by a masses of zombies that, don't want to do anything but just complain, my kids. And third, implementing, the idea of contract law. I mean, basic public services. I mean, contract law falls under the rule of law. But basic services, that should be implemented, that the government should be able to suffice given all the goddamn taxes that we're paying. But no, that can't happen, right? Anyway, let's listen to Goku here. He's in the house, and then we're gonna close out the show, man. What's up, Goku?
Nothing much, goes. What's happening?
Oh man, hey, you're coming in kind of staticky, man. You all right?
Hello?
Oh, there you are. What's going on, man?
Oh, all right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. How you doing, Goku?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Nah, chilling, man, chilling.
Sitting here, chilling back, relaxing, watching TV, listening to your show. It's all good.
Oh, cool, man. I appreciate you listening in. Hey, one thing I forgot to talk about, and I guess we can talk about it here for the next 2 minutes, is something that I predict every single year is a dramatic increase in child deaths. And I wanted to get to this one case. I know I talked about the case in New Braunfels, where in Texas here, it's not too far off of Austin, Texas, where some newspaper reporter out of New Braunfels, Texas, so conveniently left her kid in her car, and the kid, literally fried alive in there and died, and all she had to do was throw a hysteria, and now they're claiming it's an accident, and she's not going to have any charges against her. But this other case that really is peculiar is this Pennsylvania case that came out this morning. I don't know if you're familiar. 7 kids burned alive in some family rural farm somewhere out there in Pennsylvania. Now, what I don't understand is the story goes like this, okay, Goku, that the mother was out in the barn milking cows, right? And apparently, the father delivers this milk. I guess they live in a rural area where they still deliver bottles of milk. He was asleep in the milk delivery truck. Okay, and they didn't know that the house was burning down until a 3-year-old supposedly ran into the barn yelling, "Mommy, mommy, there's smoke." And as a result, 7 children died in that fire in Pennsylvania. And in my personal opinion, I think it's the parents' fault. And yet, here we are, we're trying to give these parents like, oh, it's such a tragedy, and oh, man, and I can't believe it. And I mean, it's your fault, first of all, for having 7 kids or 8 kids, and not being able to properly take care of them, first of all. Secondly, it's your fault because why are you leaving 7 kids alone, you idiot? Why are you leaving them all alone in a house? Okay? Thirdly, what the hell was the parents? Well, first of all, I guess I don't know if you want to justify the mom milking cows. I guess that's her job. What the hell was the guy doing in a damn milk truck getting some Z's? I mean, it's just disgusting to me. And you see, nobody cares about these children that are dying. Nobody is their voice. These people know that they can get away with killing children, and all they got to do is throw some mass hysteria or some makeshift excuse, and these people are getting away with killing children. I mean, what the hell do you think about that, Goku?
It's sick. Wait, how did the fire start again? You said.
I don't know. I didn't hear how it started.
Oh.
They just said it. The reports that I heard is that they ran. The old lady was milking a cow in the barn. The old man was in his milk truck taking a nap, and that the only reason they knew something was on fire was that one 3-year-old supposedly ran out into the barn and said, "Oh, I smell smoke. I smell smoke." which is kind of far-fetched for me to believe, but okay, we'll accept that. And lo and behold, 7 kids burn alive in this damn house out here, and the parents, of course, just go ahead and get off scot-free. Yeah. They get off scot-free. Anyway, Goku, man, I got 2 minutes left, man. You want to plug your blog or anything?
Yeah, sure. It's Goku93.blogspot.com.
All right, Goku, man. Thanks for listening, man, and thanks for calling up once again, man. We appreciate you calling up, bro.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
All right, man. You take it easy, man, and keep thinking about capitalizing out there, Goku. All right. Anyway, we got 1 minute left of the broadcast, folks, but seriously, I predict this every single year. All right, we're going to have an increase in child deaths because women and people know now they can get away with killing their children. I mean, like I said, every springtime to summer, I predict that there's going to be kids conveniently left in their cars and burned alive and roasting to death. Why do I know this? Not because I'm psychic. Because these goddamn women know they can get away with killing their children by leaving them in the goddamn car, for Christ's sake. I mean, I'm serious. All they got to do is throw a hysteria. Oh, my God, I can't believe I did it. And, of course, no charges. The kid's just dead. It's just an accident, like, you ran over a dog or something. It's just an accident. Don't worry about it. Who's looking? And this is what these people, they realize they can get away with. Sick, man. Anyway, I'm here tomorrow, same place, same time, folks. Keep your eye out for this Friday, the Day of Rage in Saudi Arabia. That'll tell us as investors where the market's going. Also, folks, Mike Vallely is going to be interviewed March 18th. This is next Friday. Spread it around like wildfire, folks. Go to my blog, ghostpolitics.blogspot.com. I got a small blurb about him and a video posted. If you don't know who he is, he's going to be interviewed this next Friday, March 18th. Spread it around. Let everybody know. I hope you're here. Mark it down on your calendar. It's spring break, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I'm out of here, folks. Thanks for listening. I'll be here, same place, same time tomorrow, 4 to 7 p.m. Central Time. Long live capitalism, baby. And, of course, death to feminism.
You've been listening to True Capitalist Radio. The thoughts, views, ideas, comments, and opinions of the host of this show are absolutely his. Catch more live episodes Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30 Central. Or check out archive shows at blogtalkradio.com. True Capitalist Radio.
That's it.
Boar's Head is bringing a slice of Japan to the deli. Introducing Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. Tender, slow-roasted chicken breast, coated in our signature teriyaki glaze, where ginger, garlic, and a hint of brown sugar meet for a flavor that's both sweet and savory. New Boar's Head Ichiban Teriyaki-style chicken. The bold flavor of Japan. Now at the deli. Only from Boar's Head. Compromise elsewhere.